and today we are joined by special guest Fly the L. Today, guys, we have quite a bit to talk about because I have a number of updates for you guys, which includes this guy right here. And I know you guys have seen my postings. I've been putting a lot of these posts not only on my Facebook community notes, but I've been sharing it on Facebook. And man, when I've been going on Facebook, I don't just put it on, my own page. I've been sharing it to all of these different Facebook groups. And I kind of expand it. I don't just do Facebook LJN groups. I do Facebook Hasbro groups. I kind of expand it to Galoob groups, Remco groups, whatever. If it's a wrestling group, I kind of put it on there so that everybody kind of knows who we are, what we're trying to accomplish. And the idea was I want to create this right here. I want to have this is Colonel Mustafa, but you kind of get the idea. 1992, a Gulf War era, a Sergeant Slaughter, but I want Sergeant Slaughter in kind of the 1987 Hasbro mail away version, right? With this fighting pose, but in his, turncoat color scheme.
Okay.
So I've been getting a lot of responses like, "Hey, what about Colonel Mustafa? What about General Adnan? Can we get those guys as well?" And I'm like, you know what? If I have the ability to reach out to those guys or their representatives, I would love that. But in all honesty, the big guy, Sergeant Slaughter himself, that's who I want. I've been talking about it all the time. The guys who are still around that you can actually reach out to, like Jim Duggan, like Ted DiBiase, like the Honky Tonk Man, Greg Valentine. These are Jake Roberts, Sergeant Slaughter.
Brutus
guys. That's another one.
Because I see him through Facebook. Once you get like one of the wrestlers, like somehow I got into Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and then it spreads out from there, right? The algorithms say, "How about Tugboat? What's his name?" Right? I've seen him.
Yeah, right on, absolutely.
Yeah. There you go. Because I see him. I think he took one on tour, and he even brought like what was it? Remember that gimmick where it failed the first day because he tripped over the thing in the wall? Like
Shockmaster.
He even brought the helmet and stuff. Like he really embraced it wasn't his fault. They reinforced the wall right at the last second. This is what led to it. But he embraces it, which is kind of neat. I see him on Facebook, and then of course Facebook says, "Hey, how about these other people? Ted DiBiase."
Did I ever talk about reaching out to him as well?
Yeah, you did a couple.
Okay, cool.
Ago. Have you got a response from him?
I haven't.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure they get inundated. A lot of them do. I don't know how quick they are to respond, or if they don't have someone to help them. Like if it's Fred himself doing it, then it probably takes even longer. I don't know that he does, but yeah.
Well, the thing is, I mean, the Facebook group, like, I don't know if it's actually his account or if it's like a fan page. So that's the thing. And I did hear recently that he was hospitalized, so I don't know for sure. Who do we have here? Sorry, I can't read that name, but just welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's like BTO the Ben, and Cordia.
You're welcome both to the show.
Even though we can't pronounce your name. Oh, yeah. So Fred hospitalized. I never followed. Did Abdul the Butcher? Did he ever get out of the hospital? I know he had been.
Yeah, he was in the hospital a few months back. So I mean, at 85 years old, I mean,
I was gonna say he's in his 80s, so he's
up there.
Considering how long he wrestled for, all the stuff he did, all the cutting and slashing, and he's been overweight most of his career. That he's still ticking. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but he lost a lot of weight. I mean, for a guy that was good 400 pounds, he looks good. Like him and One Man Gang both. Yeah, One Man Gang was probably a good 500 plus pounds, and he's probably lost a couple 100 pounds plus.
And I've seen him. He would be another person you could contact. He shows up in a lot because a lot of them go to the same thing. So you won't just see Hacksaw. You'll be Hacksaw next to Jake Roberts, next to maybe Fred or One Man Gang. You see a lot of Hacksaw's wife, in fact, because I think she's getting knee surgery or hip surgery or something. Hacksaw comes up a lot in my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
He's very active. He is very active. It seems like every time I see a post, he's flying somewhere, and I'm like, holy cow, he must have a lot of freaking flyer miles.
I really hope you're not talking about the Cubs attire because
got the Cubs championship shirt on. That's a lot.
Especially for me personally, I was born and raised in Chicago, so I'm a Cubs fan. So I take that to heart myself.
Yeah. Yeah, it just so happened that was next in the wardrobe. I'm like, yeah, okay. I try to mix up the colors, and since it's a championship shirt, usually they go with generic gray, right? So that if the Cubs wouldn't have won, they could have put the Indians on it, right? They don't put they make it so they can ship them out the next day if you need to.
Right.
It is what it is, unfortunately. Yeah.
But it's kind of fun because I got the notification actually from Grapplers and Gimmicks today that they are actually shipping out the Gulf War-era SGT Slaughter today. And
did you order that? Okay.
Yeah, so
now they don't have Mustafa, do they? They're releasing him and Adnan, I think, right?
Yeah, just the manager and Slaughter.
Maybe they couldn't get Iron Sheik's family or something or estate.
Yeah,
because that's the one I'd rather have. I know General Adnan a lot of people like, but I'm like, I'd rather have Iron Sheik, Mustafa. But
everybody's talking about
all three would be good, but yeah,
are talking about Legacy, or they're talking about what do they call it? All of these legacy contracts and all that stuff, right? So
legends.
So all these legends deals. So what? Thank you. So why is wouldn't Iron Sheik, Colonel Mustafa, etc. Wouldn't they be under? Wouldn't they fall under these type of deals?
Maybe that's why. That would make sense. It's a shame that they do that, but like we talked last time, it makes sense because Mattel or whoever WWE's in bed with, they want to have first dibs at making all the figures, of course. So
yeah.
It comes, but you can't blame the estate or the wrestler signing up for it because it's kind of like signing up for a pension. I'm sure. Hopefully they get good money out of it, right? I can't blame any of them for taking the money, especially if they were big before, like Hogan made wrestling super wealthy for the folks, right?
Yeah.
Until Hogan and those action figures, because I remember they said Iron Sheik. I forget how much he would get on action figures, and you remember back then he was a bad guy, but you can't just get Hogan. You got to wrestle a bad guy, so you get Iron Sheik or Big John Studd or whatever. So it worked out for both of them. But I forget they made a lot, and I'm sure LJN didn't give them a super big cut of the figures. So you got to imagine how many figures they were selling to get big checks like that, which is good for them. Especially back then, wrestling was even harder. I mean, how did they wrestle over 300 times a year plus in all the house shows?
Pretty much, yeah. So I heard an interesting story. So apparently, families of guys like Macho Man, we'll use him as an example.
Yeah.
So apparently, when companies like Mattel came along, and they're offering these contracts, to these families, for example, we'll use Macho Man. They passed on the contracts, and they probably lost a massive amount of money because they didn't want to fall under this type of company. They wanted to pass them around and to all these other companies and have the opportunity to have multiple companies sign it, have multiple figures made, multiple people paying you, right?
Like we see Macho today. I mean, everybody has a Macho Man figure. And we're not sick of them, and I'm sure the estate's making great money. I mean, definitely.
But the problem is, you think that they probably could have made more money from Mattel compared to let's say 20 different companies manufacturing, because I don't know. That's a good question. I think maybe Mattel probably could have paid them the family a whole lot more, and that was the question that they presented. And I'm like, they're like asking, did the families get ripped off by going through 20 smaller companies than going through one Mattel as an example? And I'm like, and that's why all these companies have to mass produce Macho Man figures, because they have to pay back the family in order to make the family whole, basically. And I'm like, what, that makes sense. Why does Latoonie have to come out with 10 different variants? Because that was in the contract that they agreed to.
Combination of the mold cost, and then I'm sure the residuals or royalties, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So then you wonder, if you do sign a Legends contract, is the Legends kind of like a retainer, and then you also get a cut of each figure? Does it come with like a Mattel figure package? I wonder how that works. And maybe that wasn't available back then, but I also know, because like Macho Man's not in the Hall of Fame, so there's still some kind of, I think, disagreement. I forget what it was, if it's because he was waiting for his father to get inducted, or maybe his brother. I forget what the exact fallout was. So I wonder if that's part of the deal why he doesn't have Legends contract and his estate.
I didn't hear that, but please tell me that's some straight up BS.
He's not in the Hall of Fame. But okay. I mean, it doesn't matter. This is the Baseball Hall of Fame isn't even that legit. The wrestling.
I gotta turn this off. I gotta go. I gotta go.
You didn't know that. You didn't.
I gotta go. Man, this is some straight up BS.
Yeah, he's not in there. I mean, but look, they put in Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool, and a bunch of other people. So the WWF Hall of Fame is even faker than wrestling. So, or WWE. At this point, it's not legit. It's not a legit Hall of Fame. I don't care what they say. You know what I mean? As soon as they did that, I'm like, yeah, Michelle McCool. No offense to her, but she's not a Hall of Fame female wrestler, right? She didn't break any ground. She didn't. What was she popular for a minute? If she wasn't married to the Undertaker, do you think she'd be in the Hall of Fame right now? That's just one of the few. But yeah, there was some kind of falling out, and I thought maybe it was to do with his father, Angelo Poffo, maybe. I forget. I remember reading or watching something on it. And then I'm like, oh, that's right. He's not in the Hall of Fame, because I think I would have watched it. I watched a bunch of them that were on the Peacock, on the WWE channel way back when, because they'd have it around. I think, is it WrestleMania weekend they do the Hall inductees or something like that? And I would watch them and like, oh, look at that. Because I think famously, was it Triple H or someone recently gave like the world's longest Hall of Fame speech, and people made fun of him. People in the audience were like falling asleep and stuff, the wrestlers, because it was so long. I don't know if it's Triple H or somebody like that, but
that is awesome.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he's not. That's okay.
So Ahmad from Latoonie, he did reach out to me today.
Nice.
So he saw my posting for Sergeant Slaughter, and apparently he had a couple of opportunities to reach out with Slaughter to try and get a Sergeant Slaughter figure made, and he was unable to reach a deal with them.
Okay.
And he asked me if I was interested in doing a collaboration. You guys know how much what Latoonie individually, what that company means to me.
You'd be the right person to collaborate with. Yeah.
As a fan of the company, what AJ as an individual has meant, especially for me starting Maniac Riot Wrestling and getting into this business and trying to make my own figure line and all that stuff. So I've always talked about wanting to collaborate with AJ, and when he brought this opportunity, I'm like, absolutely, man. And wanting to make, again, taking the 87 Hasbro mailaway, trying to take, this figure and put him in this outfit, right? That's my dream figure. I talked about it back in
Is that a custom? Is that what you have there? Is that a custom that you got? The Slaughter?
What, this one?
Yeah. They're both customs?
Yeah, this one definitely is.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just the original Iron Sheik, and somebody put whatever, how they customize it to look like the Gulf War-era.
That's pretty good.
Colonel Mustafa.
That's pretty good.
That's my LGN tournament year 3 champion.
Definitely a good custom then. Winning the tournament.
Yeah, so original mailaway Sergeant Slaughter. This is like a $600 figure, but this one I actually bought from Ram Treasures. $130. So
looks pretty good. Got the GI Joe on the side and everything. Is that? Yeah, nice.
I mean, I want an original, but like I said, I mean, $400 to $600. I mean, you get a beater, you're still gonna pay a couple $100 for it. So
wow, yeah.
That's why I'm like, I'm comfortable with just the custom from Ram Treasures. I mean, looks just like the original, so I'm good.
That's all that matters, yeah.
Plus, it's a good rubber and everything. A nice, hard, solid piece. So
yeah, looks good. So that and Gulf, the turncoat, like you said, outfit, that'd be kind of interesting.
And I kind of said, back in when I first started the channel and I did my first LJN tournament, I'm like, look, did I want to include the Hasbro figure with my LJN tournament? Because it's not LJN, it's Hasbro, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to include it. But I feel like if I did, this probably would have won my tournament, because I feel like this is a perfect figure. The friend that I used to buy all my customs from, and I had like 60 customs I bought from him, right?
My. Wow.
I remember he had like this Nikolai Volkov figure that I bought from him, and he repainted it to look like Sergeant Slaughter. And I remember he was knocking on this figure, calling his custom Nikolai Volkov a real Sergeant Slaughter figure, and calling this crap. And I'm like, man, at that point, I'm like, you just lost me. You just made yourself look like a complete bonehead with that statement. I'm like, this is a perfect figure. I mean, it's a GI Joe cartoon Sergeant Slaughter.
Sure, yeah.
But I mean, it's still a perfect figure, man.
It is what it is.
Did he
take an LJN Volkov and turned him into a Slaughter? Is that what he did?
Yeah. I mean, because it had. He just got rid of the top. He put a little bald spot in there, and yeah, a lot of people take Volkov and turn it into Sergeant Slaughter. It does make a very good Slaughter figure when you paint it the right way.
Yeah, I guess I don't know the LGNs well enough, but that's interesting that a Volkov is close to a Slaughter.
It does make a very good Sergeant Slaughter piece. Don't get me wrong, but
that's kind of fun, because you had to turn on the Russian, who's what, Polish or from Minnesota or something, into USA Sergeant Slaughter. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. So that's a possibility, trying to get it. Again, it all depends on, and I hate, this is the toughest part about starting a new business, especially when you're trying to create wrestling figures and you're trying to get legitimate, wrestlers sign to actual contracts, because when you're not in the business and you really don't know anybody, how do you get your foot in the door? Like, how do you reach out to these people? Because like, how do I reach out to Sergeant Slaughter other than going online and trying to reach out through his social media or something? Because
which may or may not work, because you're just
I don't know.
public now at that point, right? They're like, they don't know you from Adam.
Yeah,
I'm sure they get a lot of spam, and you might get put into the spam folder, unfortunately.
yeah, and now he's getting a figure from like Big Rubber guys, and he's getting a couple of them. And
okay, so that is the case, because they're two different poses, right? So you assume they're going to release
Yeah.
2 more. So that's like 4 or 5 slaughters they've released or will release, right? Because they already released at least 2.
Yep.
At least
And
maybe I can get. I'm not going to overpay.
what I don't want is, because there's actually this guy on Facebook. What was his name? I think his name was Philip Lee. He actually had this design on a Big Rubber Guys version of Sergeant Slaughter. The one that's the original design for LGN before Sergeant Slaughter left to go to GI Joe.
Right.
And
is there a Taz LJN custom that you've seen?
No. Well, I mean, I've seen people take, like, again, Nikolai Volkov, because he's like the most customized LGN ever. But I've seen Taz made out of Nikolai Volkov. But that's
because Rewind's talking about Taz, and I assume and I'm like, I don't think I've seen an LGN even.
But no. But no LGN of Taz or anything like that.
I wonder if he's well, you probably can't get a legit Taz, I assume, since isn't he still in AEW doing stuff? I wonder if they have rights to his figures. I don't even know. You'd have
ECW.
Yeah. I certainly don't think they made some. Did OSFTM make some ECW figs, or who did? Didn't somebody?
ECW. Was it that Toy Biz? Wasn't it?
Were they Gloob style or LJN style, or they were the rubber? Right?
Yeah. Well, Toy Biz was about yay big.
Okay, so
they're like the ones that came right after original San Francisco Toy Makers. That's why I stopped collecting original San Francisco after like Series 5, because they went from like 7-inch figures to the 4-inch figures, which were
Hasbro
crap.
Hasbro Gloob size. So there might be a Taz out there of those. I wonder. I've never looked though.
And I think some figures were about 5.5, 6 inches. Were like kind of like Mattel type, but. I mean, was that still Toy Biz, or was that another company?
So many different scales.
Because like some of the 6-inch figures, like Mattel and Jack Specific, like I don't know, man. I don't like I didn't collect this stuff when I was young, right? Like I didn't know about this stuff. Like my wrestling figure collection when I was a kid ended when I was like 8 years old. 1993. So everything that I know about came within the last 4 or 5 years as a collector.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even as a collector, we didn't have the internet and stuff like that. At least I didn't when I was a kid. So it was whatever Toys R Us or KB Toys or whoever local had, right, is all I knew. Or maybe a wrestling advertise. So that's all I knew too. I learned about it. Like I never heard of OSFTM. Of course, I think I was out of figures by then, and I don't even know if I could have gotten them when they were around. So later on, when you say, "Oh, original San Francisco Toy Makers," I'm like, "What the heck's that?" Never heard of them before.
1993 Wars when Taz started in ECW.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Taz has some figs. I just don't know that he has an LGN style, which is a lot of what we talk about. Yeah. I don't know. He probably doesn't have a retro that I've seen, but he probably has some elites or definitely some AEWs. I'm sure, right? I'm sure he does. He has to. Some Jazzwares AEWs or something at least. I don't know about ECW though. That's a good question. Because when WWF bought ECW years ago, I wonder if they got the rights to make an ECW Taz figures. They never make any. I don't know. I was into wrestling figures, and that's probably like a Jack Specific. Would they have made maybe some ECWs at all? I don't know the history of Jack Specific. I don't have any, and I wasn't in figures since then. And I know that's a popular line that a lot of people collect, but I just don't know a lot about it.
Man, what I can say, man, this freaking line, it's coming along. Like right now, all I have is pictures, though. Now there's some figures, obviously, that I've sent to Kevin, and he's created for me, or that's in the process of being made. Obviously, with Superstar X. And I thought about actually moving ahead and, paying the family today, but I'm like, you know what? Don't do it. I've been advertising for like the last week or so, week and a half that, hey, I'm going to pay the family at the end of the month. That way I can go into March, when people in the factory are going back to work, after the Chinese New Year. So I'm like, you know what? Don't don't jump ahead of yourself, because sometimes with stuff like this, I become very impatient and I want to get stuff done as soon as possible. But the guys at the factory, I mean, if they're not going to be there until the end of the month anyways, there's no need to rush into it.
Pay the family today, pay the family next week. You still won't have the figures in hand. Do you have to send them a contract and stuff? I assume it gets all formal.
Well, that's the thing. I asked the representative, and he told, because I asked him, hey, like, I asked him the same question, like, do you want to make this, as legitimate and legal as possible? Do you want a contract, or are you trying to do like a handshake agreement on this or something? Like, you want to put this in like, a message form, like, hey, this is what I'm asking, and you kind of go from there. He's like, messages, handshake agreement's fine. This is what the family's asking for, and this is, as long as you meet that agreement, we're good. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because that's what I'd be nervous about. Like, do I have to get a lawyer to look at everything? And like you said, you have to file an LLC. There's probably some online help for that you can get. You're not looking to rip them off, and they're not looking to rip you off, but sometimes that's protecting both parties. I'm not saying anything will go wrong. It's just all these things. Yeah. I'm a worrier, so I'm like, oh, do I need to get a contract for every person you sign? Yeah, I don't even know. Probably, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
a lot of work.
The starting price, I mean, it's not bad, especially considering, the star that I want, because it's a star that I want more than anything. So I think they're as excited to, the fact that I'm excited about them. So I think that really helps. If I was just some Joe Schmo who's like, yeah, you're okay. I'm glad to have you because I think you'll sell. No, I'm somebody who actually is excited about having this particular person, and the fact that they'll be like the first major superstar, that right there, I think also would be something impressive, to be the first major signing. So they asked for, X amount of figures, whatever. So, and, royalties, obviously. So, I mean, they're still going to make something, which is awesome for them.
Is that part of it? Do they say, hey, they'd like to see X amount of figures made and sold at least, or something like that? Is that part of your handshake?
Well, they want X amount of figures for the kids and grandkids. And
okay, cool. Yeah. They're like, okay. We need the first 10 figures to give, so the family has a copy for their. Yeah, no, that would be great.
I'm hoping that they can make videos and send it to me, like, kids opening it for like Christmas or something, because I want to see that. That's exciting, because I want to make these figures so the kids can actually enjoy them and play with them, right?
You're not gonna put 18 plus on them. Kyle always point that out and be funny, like, so you 17-year-olds, you better not open this figure. Like, yeah,
I'm not doing that.
I hate that.
Obviously, with the figure like this, because I'm concerned that this might injure somebody. But otherwise, I'm still gonna probably put like 3 above or something, so children could play with it.
BBA is special. That is pretty. You could cut yourself with his hair there, couldn't you? If it's hard, maybe I don't know.
Because
even on the pictures and videos also, because that'll spread your line. You're like, look, these kids are having fun with your figures, so come
because
or we have.
On the rubber figure, it's feasible. Yeah, it's flexible. I mean, it's not like horrible. Yeah. I mean, on the plastic figure, obviously, it's like super hard, but
right.
I mean, so on the actual rubber piece, it's fine.
Yeah, the prototype's a little different. Yeah, but you want to be safe. You don't want to get sued. Whenever you probably put some disclaimer or something on there so they can't get you. Handsome Devil's 2-pack. I like that. If you could come up, you've got your Waddy Devil. Could you do another devil and have the Handsome Devil's 2-pack? Let Bum do it. He's got the AI. Well, Bum or BBA also does a lot of AI stuff. Get them to generate you a nice graphic.
Well, at some point, I'm wondering if. Well, that's kind of rude.
That's kind of weird. Only one Bum? You got to buy 2. You got to keep one mint and package. And no, I'm just kidding. You got to buy at least 7, one for each day of the week. You got to know.
There we go.
One for each month of the year by 12. So that's cool. Yeah. So the family, I never think about that. And like yourself, when you're making this, you want to keep X amount for your own collection, because you sell the rest, and then you're like, oh crap, I didn't keep one of my own. Oh. Okay,
well, I'm thinking at some point we are going to have to probably do some repaints, and they're not too bad, because depending on how long the series goes. Now, I'm not going to do, a BBA in Series 1 to come back in Series 2 with like a purple mask. No, it might be like if we do a lot of characters, a lot of things, maybe I'll come back on like Series 5, Series 6, Series 7, do BBA with like a purple mask. Maybe I'll come back with that same devil figure with like opposite colors. Instead of a black jacket, black pants, maybe red jacket, red pants. purple shirt in series 1, maybe a black shirt in series 2. That way it's reverse color scheme. Because we're probably gonna do the referee, the second picture that Bumshadows put out with the arm up.
Is that the one that won? It just looked more like a referee to me rather than his fight. His fighting pose is great, but for a referee, it's kind of like, well, is this Danny Davis when he switched to become a wrestler? No, probably not. You want him to actual.
So
I like the other one.
Someone mentioned changing up the Jimmy Snuka to like maybe something like this.
I mentioned that, but either one could work. I like the hand up, and then he's doing either two or
So that was you that mentioned that.
I mentioned that once. I was like, well, this doesn't look too bad, but if it's a referee, he wouldn't probably do 2 count this way. Would he or she would probably do that? I don't know. It's up to you guys. Either one. I like the hand up though.
I think 2 or 3 people kind of said, because I posted that to like 20 different groups, so I think multiple people on like different groups kind of said that, but I told
if Devil works though, this kind of works, except for it's like this is just as a referee if you're counting the 2. I don't know that many of them do that. Maybe some do.
I think that I've seen that, but I think I told Bum that this gives me the Hasbro Jimmy Snuka.
Until you mentioned it, I didn't think of it.
Nightmares about darn action figures.
Well, and then the Epic. I don't know if Bum's got his yet. The Epic Toys retro for the Islanders. Haku, and who's the other one? Who's the other Islanders name? What's his name? I totally forgot. But they got them both doing
what, Tonga Kid or whoever.
Yeah. Is it Tonga? Now I can think of is like taller Tonga in the current dynasty, but the non-Haku Islander. I think both arms are this way, or maybe they're like that. I can't remember, but it's very reminiscent of Snuka.
Only downside I don't like about. I don't say don't like. I mean, it's good. It's a great figure. You know how I am about arms up, though.
Yeah.
It reminds me too much of the XOX Customs Bad News Brown with the arms straight up, or the British Bulldogs LJNs with the arms straight up. I'm not a fan of that. Maybe we bring the arm down a little bit, like so. That would be fine. But because it's a referee, maybe we can live with that. But I mean, eventually we're gonna have to switch up because the bigger we make the line, we're gonna have to change up poses and. I mean, it's fine for a referee.
It's your figure line between you and Bum. You guys figure out. Either way, it's going to be good.
The 2 sweet was devil horns as not to.
I mean, the devil horns do kind of work, especially with the Maniac Riot.
I like that.
So I mean, I didn't really think of it that way. I just thought most of referees will count the 2 that way, but the devil horns, or maybe turn it around because I think he's like, either way. I could see it going either way. I've heard it both ways. No. Either one will work because you are right. Sometimes this is better because you can clearly see that it's 2.
Yeah,
because they're separate rather than if your eyes are crossword. There are times when you want to spread the hands out and say 2 count, just a 2 count.
Yeah. But I think if we go with that, with the second picture for the first release for Bumshadows for the referee, and later on when we come out with the other BBA, the other Devil, maybe if we want to do the re-releases,
mix in another Bum.
The second
Bum or something.
The original Bumshadows with the fighting Bum with the sweater and the pants. That would be a good time to get that figure out. That way he has the wrestling figure and he has the referee.
If you could somehow get all his variants into the same mold, that'd be amazing to just come out with a Bum line. And it's just like 12 days of Bum miss or something. And it's just 12 different Bums or something. I don't know.
I would need to know that everyone from my channel was going to buy every single one of those variants. That would be the only way possible that I know that I would release those because, like I said, I mean, technically it'd be the same mold, so I wouldn't have to change anything other than the color scheme, but...
If you could. There's a few of them I think he's like, the bunny one's really good because he also has bunnies himself. So the Easter bunny, but the bunny is going to break the mold, right? It's not going to fit the other ones. But a lot of those, because you're all right, we even see Macho Fatigue and Macho Man, no offense to Bum, but Macho Man is the Macho Man. So it would be tough to sell like 12 of the same character even if your line's big, you'd be like, well, I just thought it'd be kind of neat because he's got so many good ideas. Like Arbor Day Bum and the big Halloween, the big holiday bums, and then you can mix them in. President's Day Bum for today. I think he did have a President's Day Bum, didn't he? Like dressed as Lincoln or something. I'm trying to remember. He had so many of them out there. But you see what I mean? Yeah. New Year's Bum, Chinese New Year's Bum, right? For each. Well, I don't know what year it is this year. Right? They have a different animal. Year of the monkey, year of the pig, or whatever.
So I did go ahead today and pull the trigger and buy the Rougeau brothers.
Oh,
now
okay.
I really wanted to get 2 sets, but I'm like, you know what? I'm poor. Can't do it. I only bought one set today.
One's
So
better than none. One now is better than one scalped on eBay or whatnot or wherever, right?
yeah,
And you can reseal them. You can reseal them.
and you know what?
Oh yeah, too
Somebody
sweet. You can do it
somebody
too sweet.
somebody put on Facebook this morning. When you buy big rubber guys, like how do you buy? Like, do you buy based on this era? Do you buy based on
Oh
your favorite characters? Do you buy
yeah.
based on repaints? Like,
I think they
someone's like,
called them rules. What are your rules, right?
yes, yeah,
I need
exactly.
some. I did need some rules.
And someone's like, well, I only buy the wrestlers. I don't buy the monsters. I don't buy the baseball players, etc. Or someone's like, if it appears in the original LJN line, like Warlord, if it's someone like Macho Man, I don't buy the new figures. If it's if
That's
it's
interesting.
if they came out with an Andre the Giant, for example, but they re-release Andre the Giant because he has upgraded skin tone, I'm not going to buy I'm not going to buy the new one.
I could see that.
If I bought Ric Flair in blue tights or blue trunks, I'm not going to buy a repaint with green trunks because it's the same exact figure.
Yeah.
That's again the rule, like you said.
You got to buy
And
the
I'm
one Ric Flair with the belt. The rest of them are. I mean, I guess you could like the bloody ones, but I'm not going to pay extra for it. I got the green one because it was just an in stock drop and it was affordable, right? I could get from Collect Major, so I only got the two Flairs: the blue one with the belt, and then the green one. The other two are like special ones that people want an arm and leg for, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care that much about. Especially the red trunk one, there's nothing special about them. I would see for the bloody one, but I don't want to pay that much, and I don't think the bloody ones look that great. So maybe one of these days I can find a loose, bloody Ric Flair. But like the remake, they're really re-releasing. I think did they change the Flair a little bit, and then the Andre. If you already have the earlier series of those, you probably don't need these, but I didn't. So this is going to be great for me. I don't have to pay eBay scalper prices. These will be my, big rubber guys, Andre and Ric Flair suited. Right, it'll fit that niche for me. I do think I might pass on. Did you see how they're going to release Macho Man and other baseball team? Like they're going to release the Macho Man, Met, and Yankee, and Bad Dodge. And I'm like, that's a money grab.
man, I saw that stupid shit. I
Stupid.
was really hoping that lame crap wasn't real.
He can only be released in two teams, the Reds and the Cardinals, even as a Cubs fan, because those are the two teams he ever played for. And so I'm probably going to even skip the Reds ones because it's identical to the USA one. And I'm like, I'm not going to buy them. Because once I buy the Reds ones, I'm going to feel like I have to collect the other ones. I definitely don't want a Yankees or Dodgers one. Screw those teams.
Makes no damn sense. Yeah. And this is what I'm talking about. Cash grab.
Do I even buy the Reds one now? I was going to because he actually played. I think he was drafted by the Reds or the Cardinals. And then he played for the Cardinals and the Reds were the only two teams. I even looked it up again. So I'm like, I could buy those two because those are legit. But they're going to be the same figure, just repainted. Right, with the fringe or the tassels or whatever coming down his arms, and it's identical mold to the USA Macho, which I did get. So I'm like, do I even really need the Reds one then? Maybe I don't. I'm still on the fence.
Yeah. I really wish I knew what to do with this because I'm only ordering 250 BBAs with Green Mask, right? Let's say they sell. I mean, just theoretically, let's say they sell out in a week, or let's say they sell out in a month. However long they sell out, they sell out relatively quickly, and then I replenish because I'm not just saying we're doing 250. That's it.
Yeah, I'm going to go on your Whatnot show and scalp them and go to eBay and right.
I'm gonna replenish these.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try and keep as many in stock as possible. Well, I'm probably gonna send when I first get them in. I'm probably gonna send like 10 or 20 to a BBA. That way, he has something in hand if he wants to sell them to his friends locally, or if he wants to sign any and up the price, whatever. Hey, man, I got something I can sign. Hey, you want to buy a signed figure for X amount of money? Hey, go for it.
He could be like Cardone on his Whatnot. He could personalize it. What message would you like, or Cornette, right, and sign it and charge him for it. Yeah.
Oh, like I said, man, the BBA is an actual wrestler, so he has that background. So he's more than just me as who's a nobody in the wrestling world. So I can sign.
He doesn't wrestle anymore, though, does he?
No.
But does he still go to wrestling shows, independent shows, and stuff like that, where he could?
You'd have to ask him, but I don't think so.
I wonder. Yeah, I don't hear him talk about it, so I don't know him real well. I need to watch more of his videos. I subscribe, but I haven't.
So his signature on his action figure would make sense. Like me, I can sign the cards and stuff for people for free because it wouldn't matter. Like I'm just the owner, creator, whatever. But as far as him, like his signature, like it actually means something. I think
he could sign his. You could sign yours though. You have one or two figures based on you.
Yeah. Like if somebody asked me for my signature on that, that would be awesome. That would be pretty incredible, but.
And
I wouldn't
Bum
but
could
actually
like sign his and say "Keep on bumming," right? You need a slogan.
keep on
You
bumming.
need,
That's awful. Yeah,
because that's why, like, I've got a few of the Cornette stuff because he just sells them on his website for a pretty reasonable price. The figures are that is it like Legends Toy Company or something like that. They're kind of crappy figures, but it's just the fact that he'll personalize them. Right? And I think I've got one or two of them that says "Thank you, fuck you, bye," because that's a pretty common one of his. It's like "Thank you, fuck you, bye, your friend Jim Cornette" or something like that. But he'll let you personalize up to a certain amount of characters, and that's what I thought BBA could do in person or on your website, even like, hey, put in a small message that's 100 characters or less or something.
well, like
He'll
what
select all
Bumshadows
kinds.
said. When we
Yeah,
get the figures in, I'll send one figure to Bumshadows. He'll sign it. He'll send it to BBA. He'll sign it, send it back to me, and that way we'll all have our
you
own
could get
figures,
all of
and all
those.
three of us will be able to sign the figures and stuff. I'm like, oh hell yeah!
Are you talking about the
So
same each figure signed by all of you, or are you just saying
yeah,
each get an autographed? Yeah, okay. So
yeah,
you
we'll
get
all have all three of the packages signed. That way,
get like
that.
okay, that'd be cool.
So
Yeah, you just gotta pass it around, but that's kind of neat. Yeah.
So I am hoping to have at least the three of us in Series 1 if possible. But card backs, we still haven't done card backing, and
Yeah,
that's the
poster.
tough part.
You definitely want a poster, right? I mean, I could take it or leave it, but I know you want to be LJN-esque, and they come with posters, kind of like with Latoonie. I've noticed I don't really miss the poster in the big rubber guys. None of those have posters. I'm like, yeah, I don't really notice. But the Mattel LJN have posters. Latoonie has posters. You want to do the LJN route and have a poster, right?
Yep.
Which is, good on you. I'm like Kyle Peterson, though. I'm like, I don't know what to do with these posters. I kept at least one of the Latoonie boxes and I got them in there, but I'm like, am I going to put them on a wall one day or frame them? Maybe.
Well, today I bought and it was inexpensive, like
Something.
$7. I just went on Amazon today, bought me a little art portfolio book.
Oh, you could put them in.
Yeah. So I had one I
Good
bought
idea.
from Canada like a year or two ago with all the
Yeah.
LJN posters. And in that booklet, I had all the tag team posters, LJN tag team posters. I had all the Series 6 black card posters. Now we're talking Andre the Giant, Haku, Ultimate Warrior, etc.
Nice.
That darn picture book I won an auction from eBay. Pricey,
I
but
was going to say
damn,
that wouldn't be cheap.
well worth it. I mean, the Heart Foundation individual tag team poster. I mean, if I ever needed to make some money, those posters alone would probably fund this.
I was going to say finance another line of your figures if you need to.
So, I mean, that right there was pretty.
That's a good idea. In the book you found, does it fit this? Because I think the Latoonie posters are the same size as the original LJN, aren't they?
I think those might actually be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
When I measured them, they were like 7.5 by 12 inches.
I'll need to measure those LJNs because it'd be a good idea because right now they're just still rolled up right in the box. It'd be nice to unroll them and put them in there and so they flatten out and I could look at them like I used to do with baseball cards kind of thing, right? I need to look
Signed BBA Damien.
Yeah. Do you sign it, Damien Riot? Do you sign it? Damien,
I mean, that's the question. Should I Simon? And that's the thing.
Sign it the devil. Just
the way that Bumshadows, the way that he spelled it, Damien. That's exactly how I spell Damien with an A at the end.
Really?
But
I was thinking E. Is there an official spelling for that? Is it E or A or both?
Well, BBA and I have gone back and forth with this because
I was seeing E, but I don't know the official.
Because I think the Omen they spell Damien with an E,
okay,
and so when BBA and I were kind of discussing it, he's like, it's more evil to go with E at the end of Damien, and I'm like, and I think because Omen that's how they have the devil with E. I'm like, kind of makes sense. I'm like, so we eventually settled on E for Damien.
I could see that. It's like Sesame Street. E is for evil. That's good enough for me.
So eventually we put Damien with an E on the posters, but me personally, when I actually spell the name Damien, I always spell A at the end.
Well, I mean, dang it, I can't type. I got a Band-Aid on my one finger. It's messing with me. Huh. There's a name nerds on Reddit. Damien or Damien? I'm kind of curious. I'll have to read that later. I've always seen the E, but I think you're right. It's because of the movies. Is there an official spelling on this? Yeah.
Either or.
Oh, I think this couple's thinking about naming their kid that. I don't know about that. Damien with an A, unless you're French. Damien with an E is the French version of the original name, which was Greek and spelled Dam. Oh, you can do with that. Damianos? I don't know how you spell that. The Greek. Huh. That probably doesn't quite work as well as Damien. So Damien with an E is the French version. It's like, oh. Of course, this is Reddit, so you can post anything you want to Reddit.
Cool.
This one with an A saying that Damien with an A is the name of the Antichrist. I don't. Is that the case? That's really what I would look up is like in Bible lore and that sort of thing. Is it E or A?
Yeah. See, in 2014, my wife, she went as an angel for Halloween, and of course, I went as the devil for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And we left Colleen and we went to Austin because we went to this murder mystery dinner.
Oh yeah.
So obviously that's where the devil costume comes into play, and that's where the Damien or the devil action figure comes into play. So it's not just some random, hey, I want to create this devil figure. It actually has a background and actually has a purpose.
No, you're a secret devil worshiper. No, we understand. Satan Panic or whatever it was called. No, but yeah. No, it's great because it has a story too. Plus, and also the name is perfect. Damien Riot, for Maniac Riot Wrestling.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's too perfect. Got to make that figure. Plus, it's a cool looking figure for like a manager. He could be like a heel manager. It's a great looking. I'm sure there's been devil themed managers over the years. So I mean, it's perfect even in modern wrestling.
What's going to be really expensive though? So I wanted to do one figure at a time to kind of make, alleviate the expenses on me. But which I'm going to because of who this star is, and I know the figure itself, which is incredible. I mean, it's going to be like one of my favorite figures ever. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to do 2 figures at once. The molds are going to be crazy expensive, but my God, if these figures sell the way I think they are, I'm so excited about this line.
Because this person doesn't have an LGN style figure.
No.
Right? Yeah.
No.
So
but
actual wrestler, no offense to BBA, Bum and yourself, but actual wrestler who never had an LGN figure. I mean, that ticks off a lot of boxes, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping that. I mean, this is exciting. This is amazing, and the one of the guys, Baldwin. I keep forgetting his first name, but he's all over XOX Customs because he's like me. He buys all the figures.
Oh yeah.
And he's in the Facebook groups, and he's always like, putting the figures like in a wrestling ring. He takes photos.
Oh, that kind
of so and so versus so and so, or tag team versus tag team and whatnot. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I want to see my figures in that wrestling ring alongside his characters. So he's like, hey, you make this figure, talking about this guy with Gulf War, Sergeant Slaughter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy the hell out of that basically. And I'm like, man, I'm trying. Like I'm really pushing to get in contact with Sergeant Slaughter if possible.
Great heel figure. But you said AJ they couldn't reach an agreement, so I'm nervous. What does that mean? Can he give you? Hopefully, he can give you some tips and what he's looking for and what you might have to do, so you can go. If you do meet him, have as much information as possible. Chuck E. Cheese. Wow, I haven't been to Chuck E. Cheese in forever.
Well, here's the thing. I like that question, but
dang,
in all honesty, when it comes to Chuck E. Cheese, when I was a kid,
man.
I never really played any of the games because whenever you play those games, you always want to get the little tickets, right?
It's really about the tickets. So you can get the pencil eraser or whatever the dumb stuff they have.
So like my little brother and I, we'd always play the skee ball. What's it called? Skee ball.
That would be the only game I can remember that playing other than arcade games. Yes, skee ball probably would be my choice.
Yeah, so like I'd have my brother, I'd have him go to the very top, and I took the balls and I'd roll the balls up to him, and he'd put it in like the 100, or I think the 100 is the biggest one,
whatever it was.
So I'd roll the balls up to him, and he'd put the ball in the 100, and we get all these tickets, and so depending on how many quarters we had, we'd use all the quarters on the skee ball machine to get all the tickets that we could. So.
Do you remember any of the prizes you would trade for, though? Anything good with all those tickets?
That's right? Depending on how many, because we didn't exactly have all the money in the world. So, we may only had like $5 worth of quarters, whatever, that we used. So, even though we got all the tickets in the world from that skee ball machine, we had to save them.
You were as efficient as possible with the money you had, but it still couldn't buy a lot of tickets, right? Yeah. I don't even remember any of the good. What kind of prizes they have? Probably stuffed animals, if I remember correctly. Wouldn't they like pencil toppers or erasers or dumb stuff like that? I'm trying to even remember what kinds of stuff.
But yeah, I mean, eventually, I guess over time, you save it up and you come back, and maybe you could buy something good, possibly.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I can remember getting from was it no, hold on. I don't remember if it was an arcade or maybe it was Chuck E. Cheese's, but I remember coming back with like a little blue and white squishy ball
Hmm.
with like the blue Power Ranger on it. I
Mhm.
think that came from Chuck E. Cheese's. So I think that's what I bought with like my tickets or something.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Bum saying he actually worked there. Yeah, I don't know if my
Oh,
Chuck E. Cheese when I was a kid ever had the basketball game. I remember skee ball, and then it went away. I don't know if it went out of business, and now I know it's been back for a while because we got another Chuck E. Cheese in town, but we didn't have a Chuck E. Cheese for forever. I don't even remember how long it was gone. I don't know if it reorged or if it just the locations around me closed and then they came back, but I know it's back. I don't know what games they have because I haven't been to the Chuck E. Cheese in
yeah. You know what was
20,
really
30 years.
freaking horrible?
Probably longer.
My younger sister, horrible. She didn't know how to play a damn game whatsoever.
Yeah.
My younger brother and I, we had a darn, we knew exactly what we were doing. Roll the ball to you, put in the freaking hole with the most freaking points.
Yeah.
Duh. Very simple task.
Yeah.
My damn sister, I don't care. Just throw it any damn thing as long as it fits. Roll the ball to you, put it in the one with the most points.
Mm-hmm.
Duh. No. Throw if the points are 100, okay, I'm gonna put it in the 20. I'm gonna put it in the 50. I'm gonna put it in the 30 or the 40, whatever. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Dude, put in the freaking 100.
If you're gonna cheat, you might as well cheat.
So
Right? What's the point of
like it? So she's there. She's on the thing, and she's putting. Eventually, here comes the guy walking. He's walking along all of these ski ball whatever you call them, and eventually he gets to ours, and he's. I'm watching this guy as he's walking along all these things, and he gets to her, and he's like stepping right above her. She turns around, he's standing right over her.
the guy who worked at Chuck E. Cheese, I assume?
Yeah. So he stood right over her. So she gets up and walks away. And I'm like, son of a bitch. So I have to sit there and try and roll the ball into the damn. And of course, I don't get any of them because I suck at that damn skee ball game.
Never had to actually play it before. You always had that system.
I mean, I suck. I can't freaking roll that shit in there. But
it was tough. I can't say I was any good at it when I had to compete legitimately, but it was fun to play. But I don't remember us having a basketball game. That would be it. A buddy of mine actually eventually bought one for his basement. I remember going over to his house years ago as a kid, playing that basketball game in his basement. I was like, wow, you can buy these and bring them home. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh man, freaking Chuck E. Cheese's.
Yeah,
I love Chuck E. Cheese's. Like I know it gets a lot of flack, but I like that place a lot.
Remember the other one?
Showbiz Pizza.
There you go. Yeah, that one's been going for a while. I think though. I don't think it ever came back, did it? I remember because I think the first time I went to one, I was super young. That those freaking things scared me. Those animatronic things. The first time I went, I'm like, what the hell is this? What nightmare am I in? Oh my gosh. Maybe that's part of the reason why Showbiz went out of business, or maybe the pizza sucked. I don't even remember. I was too young when it went away. At least around here, I don't. Showbiz and Chuck E. Cheese. I think we went to Showbiz first. Maybe they were the more popular of the two. Like all my friends and stuff, like, oh, we gotta go Showbiz for my party, for birthdays. And then, all of a sudden, Chuck E. Cheese became popular. But maybe it was because Showbiz went out of business. I don't remember.
I can never remember. Did Chuck E. Cheese replace Showbiz, or did they rebrand and become Chuck E. Cheese?
I don't know. I was a kid when that happened. I never thought to look that up. But I know Showbiz disappeared and Chuck E. Cheese was all the rage.
I always thought they rebranded.
But I don't remember Showbiz had a lot of games. I remember they had the animatronic, and pizza and stuff. But did they have games? I don't remember. I was so young.
I thought so.
I definitely remember playing games at Chuck E. Cheese with the tokens to get the pencil topper or whatever the heck garbage that we got from them.
Yeah.
Kind of fun to think about. And then Chuck E. Cheese is still around. Like I said, we got one in town, but I haven't looked at it. I don't know if they have the same assortment of games as they used to. I heard the pizza's just as bad, or maybe it's worse.
Yeah,
you can get takeout from that if you're like, oh, I feel like pizza. Let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. No, you only go there for kids' parties.
What the heck not? Like, what? Why does everybody hate on Chuck E. Cheese? I love Chuck E. Cheese pizza. Like, I thought that stuff was awesome.
No, but have you had it like modern Chuck E. Cheese pizza?
Probably no. I mean, I haven't eaten Chuck E. Cheese since probably the early 90s.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's totally different, I'm sure. Well, of course, part of it's nostalgia. I can't go back in time to when I tasted the pizza, and as a kid, everything tastes good. But I think it's also part of the quote-unquote, pardon my French, the shitification of everything. Like, hey, if we got to make money off this pizza, what's the way? Well, let's make it more inferior ingredients that are cheaper. And they don't put. I don't think they use a lot of cheese and sauce and toppings, but it's for kids. The kids don't really care. They don't. Kids don't need a supreme pizza filled with pepperoni and sausage. Kids don't know. They just, hey, I'm having pizza and soda, and I'm running around playing games, right? So it's good for that target demo. But for an adult who's tasted other pizza, yeah, I mean, you go in there, don't expect the best.
So no more
they don't have the robots anymore? Oh.
Man, that's like half the freaking allure of going to Chuck E. Cheese's, man.
Oh, man. How was the pizza, Bum? Did you have any of the pizza? Your nephew probably liked it. Like I say, I mean, you have a different palate when you're a kid, right? Throw sugar or whatever on it, and I'm fine, whatever, I'm not out here picking out, well, I think this pizza's better, Pizza's pizza as a kid. You're just like, parents let me have pizza? Hell yeah. As an adult, you're kind of like, well, I'm not going to settle for a Pizza Hut or Papa John's. I'm going to Snooty Fly By Night, Fire now. Oh, decent. So maybe the pizza's not bad. Maybe it's up to you would think it all would taste very similar like a McDonald's. But it would have been probably 20 years ago, maybe, when I went to a kid's party there and the pizza was kind of meh.
Bum. So I also got to give a special shout out to Bumshadows, and another special shout out to a indie wrestler that he got in contact with, a Jason Speed. And again, here is another representative that I think a lot of folks from my channel should make themselves familiar with.
Jason Speed.
Because, I talked about, another indie wrestler, Peter Be Beautiful.
Yeah, he's in your title.
Who I wanted. Yeah, exactly. I think people should make themselves familiar with Peter Be Beautiful, and I think people should make themselves familiar with Jason Speed, because these are a couple of guys who I feel like, if the situation is right, these could be a couple of guys that I sign for Maniac Riot Wrestling. They seem interested in what we're doing, and if all possible, why not? Because if they're guys that don't have their own action figures, you know what? We could hook them up with some figures to send to sell at their own their own events.
I was gonna say, Peter's still wrestling. Is Jason still wrestling?
Yeah, because
wow, see, and that, like we talked about, that'd be perfect. You imagine they could go to the show, and instead of signing photos, they could sign action figures. I mean, that would be a bigger hit, I would think, than photos. Photos are nice and they're signed, but you imagine getting their signature on an action figure. How many indie wrestlers can say that? How many regular wrestlers can say that, let alone indie? You go to Monday Night Raw, how often are you going to be able to be like, oh, CM Punk, here's sign my action figure? You're probably not even going to get that. But at like an indie show, man, that'd be the icing on top.
Absolutely.
$10 or $20 to watch these guys and gals give it their all in front of, I mean, sometimes those crowds aren't large, but then you can get a signed figure afterwards. Or maybe a package deal even. You could get in. What if you could get in with like a promotion? Do you have any local promotions? How close are you to like OVW? They're in cahoots with WWF, so you probably can't. Because that'd be great. You go walk up to Al Snow, be like, "Hey, can I get a figure of you and the rest of your wrestlers that you push at your OVW events?" Because they're out of Kentucky, there, I think, right, out of Louisville.
Yeah. So there is one.
But I think that's still the minors. I think
they're
they're related to WWE, so I think it's probably a no-no. But that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I see him on Facebook all the time too, or at least his channel making jokes. I don't know if it's really him. He's got some funny jokes if it is him.
Man, look at what Bumshadow says. That's pretty. See that right there? That is incredible.
Wow.
That is a huge lineup right there.
Oh my, HBK, really? The Heartbreak Kid?
You know what's funny?
Holy balls.
Whenever you look at Nails, and I've always said Nails, he's like on my list of like 10 guys. If I have the opportunity to make any 10 figures, Nails is on my list of 10 that I want to make, right?
Has he passed away though? Did somebody say, I think?
I hope not.
I don't
because
know
it's so much easier, it's so much better to deal with the actual wrestler themselves, obviously, than family. Because I mean, maybe not, but you want to obviously work with the individual because it's their life. But
well, and also how do you know which estate? It's kind of like for inheritance and stuff. That's one thing, but how do you know which is the right estate to work with?
Yeah.
And then you work with the wrong people, and they say, "Hey, you don't have rights to Nails. You do." Rob Snyder. Yeah. So somebody wants one of us to say you can do it, and then somebody thinks I'm a famous wrestler. That'd be pretty cool. I am not. You can do it, Tom. He's made a lot of money off of that phrase. You can do it. I wonder how much money Rob's made. Just appearing in random Billy Madison or Adam Sandler, Billy Madison movies. Enhancement talent. Who was? Oh, Jason. Okay. Wow, that's cool. Sure, he didn't make a lot, but that would still be. I mean, that means he was, in the big leagues. Like, even if I got called up to play for the Cubs for a minute, I'd still be like, hey, I was a Major League Baseball player for a minute. Even if I never appeared in a game, that'd be good if you could. Even if I had one at bat and it was a strikeout, put it on my baseball card. I'm going to sign it for you.
There you go.
I don't know if Bam Bam had a son. I know what they're saying. I don't have enough tattoos, though. Wouldn't I be covered in tattoos like he did?
There you go.
Imagine getting a tattoo on your skull. Holy cow.
Wow. If that happens, everyone's going to be vying for your wrestling figure.
Yeah, tough. I'm not doing it. I don't have a tattoo anywhere. I'm one of the few anymore that doesn't have a tattoo. I've never really thought seriously about getting one, and I don't even know what I would get and where I'd put it. Jason Speed. So he still wrestles, so that'd be great.
Well, man, I saw his wrestling match in New York. So I mean,
recently this year,
pretty fun.
Oh, I wish I was in shape like Bill Goldberg. That'd be cool. Except for I wouldn't hurt Bret Hart. I like him too much to kick him wrongly. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Can you imagine off of a simple leg kick, right? That's how precarious wrestling is, right? You would expect, like he dropped him on his head, or there's so many different ways to get injured in a ring, and he just got too strong of a kick, and that was enough. I'm like, wow, ouch, that would hurt. His foreskin tattooed. That feels like that might be worse than which head getting tattooed. This head probably I would rather get tattooed.
Bum Bigelow.
Bum Bigelow. That would be cool. Do you have? Can you? Yeah, is that okay? Could you chat GPT or whatever a Bum Bigelow figure for yourself, Bum, and see what that would look like? You fighting?
He made one.
Did he make a Bum Bigelow? Did I not see that one? Dang, he's made so many. I just can't keep up. CM Punk is from Lockport. Is that in Illinois, Lockport? I assume, because I think he was born and raised in the Chicago area. I'm pretty sure. I think. Though every once in a while, I looked officially, and I think Macho Man was technically born in Ohio, but I think they quickly. Angelo Poffo was in Illinois for a while, and I think they moved up into the Chicago area and they've been around. And then they started that rival promotion in, I want to say Kentucky, I think, because they fought with Memphis and them. Yeah. So I missed that one. I don't remember the Bum Bigelow. Dang it! I need to go back and see all the different ones. I thought it would make it look bigger. Yeah. You need to find someone with smaller hands. That will help too.
That's fun.
Man or woman, whatever your persuasion is.
What was it? The last stream, we didn't talk baseball, and that was like one of the big things I wanted to do. It's freaking. It's almost time for spring training to start up, and we didn't do freaking baseball talk. Like, what kind of crap is that?
When do pitchers and catchers report? Isn't that 8 minute now?
Well, they're already at.
Did they already?
They're already Mesa. So
that's how quick. Yeah, because I know some people who work out in Arizona or the Cubs. I'm sure Florida's the same way, but they're talking about, I think in March, like already being in the 80s and 90s, and I'm like, holy cow, that's way too soon.
Right now they don't have freaking Justin Steele, who's supposed to be your damn ace. They don't have him listed in the damn top 5. I'm like, what kind of crap is that?
Is he still not healthy then? Maybe.
I mean, he missed most of the darn season, so I mean,
he did, but
they have him. So he's supposed to be in your bullpen, or actually, I don't think he's even going to be. He's even going to break with the team when the season starts.
That's soon. Yeah. Super Slav's reporting the Cubs play the Sox next week. So yeah, pitchers and catchers better report. You don't want to just report and then the next day play a full baseball game. You want to ease yourself into it, I would assume. Wow.
But here's the thing: if the interest with Zach Gallen is correct, and they add Gallen to the mix, he's got to be in the rotation, right?
I thought I saw the headline, but I didn't read the article. I thought he's staying with the Diamondbacks. I think the Diamondbacks re-signed him. Did you see that? I haven't been following baseball yet. The only sport I've been looking at has been some Olympics, hockey and such. But
you said Gallen signed with the Diamondbacks?
I think because wasn't he a Diamondback last year? He re-signed with them, I think.
Well, I mean,
I think
I didn't hear that. Oh damn!
It was just a headline. I didn't read the article, but as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh wait a minute, that's the guy you were talking about.
Like I want him definitely, but he's basically another Jameson Taillon. So
I think he only signed to Zach Zach Gallen will not receive all of his $22 million 1 year. He only signed a 1 year deal
with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, betting on himself. They said. Well, I guess because maybe he had a down year last year. I think he's thinking. Yeah, he reached a 1 year deal according to ESPN here, February 13th, so just 3 days ago. 1 year, $22 million. I hope that guy can get out of bed. I mean, $22 million. I don't get out of bed.
Get out of bed.
I don't get out of bed less for 25. I call him to work all the time. Like, no, I'm sick today. You didn't pay me 25. If only that would be the case. Then you could make a lot of wrestling figures if you get out of bed. But no, apparently. So I think I saw his stats from last year. They weren't as good as they normally are. So he's betting on himself instead of signing a long-term deal on that year. Right? He's going to say, okay, 1 year, prove it, and then when he has better stats this year, he can probably get a 10-year, $3 billion contract with the Dodgers or something. Heaven forbid the Dodgers sign someone. I mean, they're usually pretty frugal,
that is exactly what's freaking going to happen. He is going to sign with the damn Dodgers next season. 3 years, 75 million, or something like 4 years, 160. Watch.
4 years, $7 billion. They'll figure out how to delay the money until
It's gonna be a reasonable number. 25 million per. I know 25 million, a reasonable number.
Well, see, now I would get out of bed. 25. Now you're talking
25 million per season, a reasonable number. And
could you imagine?
It's sad that $25 million is considered reasonable for a starting pitcher, a guy that makes 30 starts a year.
That just shows you how much they're making in money, though, right? If they can afford to pay all these guys this, and I mean the Dodgers make a lot from their baseball network, but even like the Diamondbacks and stuff, your smaller teams, and then maybe not the Royals and Pirates, but you can afford to pay these guys $5, $10, $20 million a year for. I mean, he's not Randy Johnson, right? He's not Greg Mack, but.
Or you're doing 4 years, 160, which is what, $40 million a year? Shoot.
Okay, maybe I'll get out even then.
For a freaking Zach, I mean, I love Zach Gallen. I wanted Zach Gallen on the Cubs, but $40 million. I mean, he's going to get the money. It's going to happen.
But he's not, Roger Clemens or Greg Maddux or Randy Johnson, right? And he's getting paid. Well, what is it anymore? What's $40 million? That's kind of cool. So the Cubs play the Sox next week. Major League, March. Yeah, and then merch. Will I see Major doing? Oh, yeah, I saw they're going to come out with, you know how they have the Philly Fanatic and the Mr. Met or whatever he's called? Big Rubber Guys, he's going to come out with Clark the Cub, that new Cub mascot. And I forget some other team they're going to do too.
So, Slob, am I the one with the – so I assume I have the Chicago accent?
I feel like you have more of the accent. I've got the Cub shirt. Is your Cub shirt? It's blue. Mine's a Cub shirt.
Well, this is just a medical shirt.
I was just going to say, you look like you're at a hospital as a doctor.
Yeah, this is just a medical scrub. Yeah.
But no, I got a Cub shirt, but I'm not officially from Chicago, but I'm in from Illinois. I feel like since you're from the Chicago area, you have more of the accent. I don't feel like I have one.
Here's the thing, man. Like I feel like if you're from like the Midwest, if you're from like Illinois and Missouri and Michigan, I feel like you don't have an accent.
No, so, not as much. Now I would say Wisconsin. Well, I don't know about Michigan, but definitely Wisconsin and Minnesota. I guess maybe they're north enough. They definitely have accents because, like, even my sister moved up to Wisconsin and she now has an accent from living up there for years. It's kind of interesting, but I don't feel like Illinois or Iowa. Maybe I don't feel like Kyle Peterson. Listen to him and like he's kind of born and raised in Iowa. He doesn't feel like he has an accent. I wish I had like a nice British or Australian. Those are pretty nice, or French. All the ladies go, or Spanish even, if I had a Spanish accent. But I would just be probably racist if I tried to affect one of those accents. It wouldn't be cool.
South Chicago burbs.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I grew up on the north side, Rogers Park.
So you guys probably have the accents. You can kind of tell. There's a few different Chicago type accents. You can kind of tell, oh, yeah, we're from Chicago. But the only thing I ever got was somebody thought I was from a big city, which I'm not, because I speak so quickly. I'm like, yeah, I don't know where I picked that up. As if like a Midwesterner that lives in BFE can't speak quickly, right? I've got to be some dumb hick on a farm, I guess, and spell blue. I don't know what it is, but I usually do it because I think I'll forget what I was going to say.
The surgeon.
Dump. Oh, that could work. Yeah. You could have the scrubs on and yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I think Super's right. Yeah, there's definitely I don't think there's a St. Louis accent when you think about it. Definitely Chicago feels like there's one. Maybe Detroit. Maybe. I don't know about Minneapolis, though, or St. Louis. They don't feel like they have accents, do they? Like, what would you say would be a St. Louis accent? I don't think I've ever ran into one. Or Indianapolis. I don't feel like. Chicago, definitely, though. And it's kind of interesting, isn't it? I don't know why that is, but I don't feel like there's a St. Louis one.
I don't know, like when you talk to someone who's from the South or any Southern state, you can say, okay, you have a Southern accent. If you talk to someone who's from like Massachusetts or something, you got like, you got like a Boston accent or something, or you got like a New York accent, you got a New Jersey accent or something, those are prevalent, it's very obvious when you're talking to someone from like a northeastern city, northeastern state, or someone from, again, a southern state or something. But
yeah, definitely.
From other places, like you really, I don't know, like I don't really say that there's accents.
And Bum's saying Minnesota. Yeah, definitely Minnesota and Wisconsin. They definitely have accents. And different slang terms, like I know casserole. Minnesota's hot dish. That's a very common Minnesotan term. But what you really got to do is watch those people from Massachusetts that moved to New Hampshire. Those people are crazy. You got to watch those people like a hawk. I'm waiting to see if you heard me.
Yeah, you know what I got to freaking do, man?
Those Massachusetts, New Hampshire types. You gotta watch that.
My wife and I, we watch Survivor, right? And I think it's on Amazon.
On purpose? No, I'm kidding.
Yep.
I always say that when like my nephew says, "Oh, I watch this." I'm like, "Really, on purpose?"
Yeah, I think it's on Amazon. So they have all the seasons or most of the seasons on Amazon
or Paramount too, I think, because it's a CBS show, right?
I
think it was like season 50 or something, and I'm like, "Well, how is that possible?"
Yeah.
Well, they have 50 years ago.
They have 2 seasons per 2 seasons per year.
It feels like South Park cheating. Like, oh, we're just gonna have another season because it's June, and then in August to come out have another season. Like, no, 1 season per year. Those are the rules. You can't have more than one. You're cheating. You're trying to catch up on The Simpsons, who just had their 800th episode or are going to. Holy cow! 800 episodes. Wow.
I remember back in like 2016 or 2017, whatever. My coworker with Lockheed Martin, we're in Afghanistan, and he was talking about like Dancing with the Stars or something, and they were like season 20 or something, season 25. I don't know, something like that, some big number. And I'm like, the show's been on the air for like 10 years at the time, 15 years, something, or they're like season 30. And I'm like, well, the show's been on the air for like 15 years. And he's like, no, it's been on the air for 30 years. They're in season 30. I'm like, no, they've been on the air for like 15 years. No, man, it's 30 years. 30. I'm like, dude, trust me on this. It's been like 15 years.
How long ago was this? They thought it was on for 30 years?
2017.
Can they not do the math? So you're saying it started in 1987. Do you remember what the television was like in 1987?
But
it wasn't that
show. But I tried to explain to him, like, Dancing with the Stars is one of those shows that air 2 seasons per year. Like Survivor, they air 2 seasons per year. So, you have
1987.
That's why you have 30 seasons in, like, because that's why you double up each year.
Because they're cheating. Don't you remember Dancing with the Stars in 1987? I don't know.
So luckily, he went and he Googled it and verified. I'm like, thank you. But
I mean, a little bit of common sense. Just do the quick math. We're not talking, doing calculus or something. We're not telling you, hey, figure out the area under the curve here, buddy. Or better yet, the volume if you do multivariable calculus. But 30 years, 1987. There was no Survivor. What did you have in 1987? Was Alf even around yet? I mean, MASH? No, MASH would have been over by then. Cheers, maybe?
But also the guy, I mean, he was actually, for being out in Afghanistan, the guy was my best friend out in Afghanistan, but he was also, I don't want to call him a crybaby because, I mean, he was, I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. The man, he went out, he was a heavier set guy, not fat or anything, but he was heavier, and he liked to go to the gym in the morning, work out, and then after work he'd work out again. Good for him, proud of him. And he wanted me to work out with him. I'm like, hell no, after work I'm tired of shit. I want to go back to the room. I want to watch my shows. I want to enjoy my time off. I'm exhausted. And he wanted me to go work out with him in the morning. I'm like, dude, I want to sleep. I'm lazy. I want to sleep in. Okay. Yeah. I want to sleep in until it's time for me to wake up and go to work.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to wake up 3 hours early I don't want to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to a freaking gym. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I'm lazy. I want to do that. I want to sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's mad at me because, he's going to the gym every day, twice a day, and he was doing all these things and he was losing weight, getting himself in shape. Dude, I'm freaking proud of you. Like, you know, you're doing great things. You look awesome. Super proud of you. You know, I'm happy for you. But that just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was going to the gym eventually on my own schedule when I had the time off, but like I wasn't doing on his schedule with him, and he was pissed off.
Twice a day
And
is quite a lot. I mean, you could go
yeah,
to the gym 3 or 4 times a week and you're doing great. But he's doing it
yeah,
like 14 times a week or whatever. Woo.
yeah. So
Hot.
and plus, you know, as a logistician, for you know, and especially supporting the special forces, everything, you know, my damn schedule was swamped. So I really couldn't break away the same way that he did because he worked in the motor pool. So you know, it was a lot different. You know, his work schedule was a lot different than mine. So like I said, when I got off work, I was freaking exhausted. And like I said, when I worked out on my terms, when I had the opportunity to. It was different. He was pissed off at me that I wouldn't work out with him, so he basically at one point just completely stopped talking to me. And I'm like, man, that's really freaking petty. So when I say I lost a really good friend because I wouldn't work out with him, like that's messed up, dude. So
that's kind of a weird reason. Huh. So that's where he gets to not crybaby, but something like that.
I mean, not like I said, not a crybaby, just a wrong choice of words, but petty. That petty is a better word.
It's a weird reason to stop talking to someone. Not everybody likes working out, especially twice a day. There's some gym rats that don't want to work out twice a day, and in fact, twice a day is maybe overkill, depending on how much he's working out. You know, you gotta give your body rest.
Yeah, I'd come back from the DFAC, you know, I'd pass him up as we were walking. Like I'd walk back from the DFAC, he'd be walking to the, I'd be like, you know, little head nod, hello, nothing. Like you do normally, like, or you know, I'd be walking and like I'd see him in the distance, I'd call out to him like, hey, or he'd like kind of give me like this, you know, kind of like, you know, very nonchalant, you know, wave. Like, okay, mother effer, screw you too.
Because you didn't want to work out 12 times a day with him.
Oh man. I freaking loved Afghanistan, man. I tell you, man, among my,
I don't hear that a lot.
I mean,
here's the thing. Hear that a lot. I love Afghanistan.
I mean, but here's the thing, though.
Yeah, boy, you were.
I was on deployment. I was multiple times as a soldier, and when you're on deployment as a soldier, there are things that happen overseas that really screw with your head. And I've talked about it in videos on YouTube in the past, and I don't talk about it a lot because you know there's events that really screw with you, and you know you still have memories to this day, and I still have nightmares. And so when I've had jobs, you know, like that took me overseas, and like you know even when I'm contracted, you know, people are like, hey, you know, if you still have these issues, like why do you accept these positions in a combat zone? And my answers have always been the same. You know, very simple answer. It's where the jobs are. You know, my background is military logistics. You know, when your job is a specific background, you're kind of limited. Yeah, I could go into warehousing in, you know, for a commercial company or something like Granger or something, but I mean, is the pay going to be the same, or are you going to be doing the same type of work? Not necessarily. So you kind of go with what you've done professionally. And so I, you know, go overseas, and what are you expecting? Or what are you experiencing when you're overseas? Mortar attacks constantly. So you kind of have that PTSD constantly coming in on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you know, you're not having that heart palpitations on a consistent basis. You're not reliving a lot of events over and over again. But Afghanistan, there are certain things, certain beauties about it. I've talked about like, you know, winter time when there's snow on the mountains and you're just sitting back and you're just admiring the beauty of seeing the white and the beauty of the snow on the mountains. It looks really beautiful. So, and there's not so much, sometimes you got to sit back and admire, you know, that beauty as much as the hardships of being away from family and all the other detriments that you kind of experience while in a combat zone. Yeah. Like when you're traveling from base to base and you're, you know, and you're boarding a helicopter and you're going from like Kandahar to like Shindan or something, and that's like a 30-minute trip, via helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
When you're going through the mountains and stuff, you're constantly looking down because what happens if some asshole is out there shooting some damn rocket at you or something, your damn helicopter blows up like that. Your whole
Yeah.
entire trip while you're in the air, your heart's just it feels like it's about to explode out your chest. Those are always concerns. Even if you're like in a C-130 or C-18 or something like that, that's like you're always worried about that stuff. Don't think just because you're on base or something that stuff has ever disappeared.
How safe
More
were you on base? Because definitely traveling between bases, you're out in it. On base, were you a little bit better protected?
depending on where you're located, sometimes. Like if you're in Bagram, I've always said Bagram always reminded me of being in a prison
Oh,
because you're surrounded by T-walls, which are just these concrete wall barriers, and they had like these concertina wires on the top, and it just went around the entire base. Certain places you can actually physically look down into base and whatnot, so not very secure.
but
So
from it was a prison in a good way. It was secure then for when you were there. It sounds like maybe.
ish. I
Yeah.
mean, you still have watchtowers and stuff, so you
Yeah.
could see people from a distance, good distance away. And if anybody tried to fire into the base and stuff, and plus the company I used to work for here in Louisville, Raytheon. They have actual military systems. They're called RAM systems, C-RAMs, Fingerlink systems, and they're famous for being mortar systems. They actually track down these
Whoa.
mortars while they go up in the air. So these failing systems, they actually they disperse while the mortars are in the air, and they shoot the rockets out while they're still in the air.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's why Raytheon is such a popular military contracting company. Those missile guided systems that they created are multi-billion-dollar systems.
Missiles
So
to shoot down other missiles, though, automated, right? So
basically,
yeah,
so
try to keep you safe.
I love Raytheon. I left Afghanistan to come back to the States, left Texas to come to Kentucky because I wanted to work for Raytheon. That was the holy grail job for me.
Right.
And I left Raytheon. Why? To go back to freaking Afghanistan because I wanted to pay my house off. My house in Texas was paid off, and me being me, I have OCD. I don't like bills, and I wanted to pay my house off, and it still took me almost a decade to pay the sucker off, and I had to. And it took me to the last year, and what did I have to do? I had to cut into my 401k and all these other
Mm-hmm.
things I was building up over the years. So,
But I mean, a lot of hard work and effort. But now well, I mean, I guess there's ways they can probably take your house from you, but realistically, it's going to be hard.
yeah.
Like if you don't pay your property taxes, they'll put a lien on your house, but that's a lot less than what you're paying in what you were paying in mortgage. Yeah. So yeah, super Slav was saying, what? How do we go from Minnesota accents to foreign wars? I'm not sure.
Hey,
Yeah,
we
accents.
switch up from everything. I mean, how do we go from action figures to Chuck E. Cheese and Chuck E. Cheese
Good question.
to baseball and baseball to what else do we talk about? To accents and accents to foreign wars.
The Chuck E. Cheese one, definitely somebody asked about what, just a random person asked about what was our favorite game at Chuck E. Cheese. And then I'm like, what's the name of the game? And then when he said skee ball, I'm like, oh, good, thank you. I forgot the name. Skee ball, that was.
Mean, everything kind of ties in at some point.
That is pretty funny. Now we jump around. I even mixed in some math jokes if you can, or whatever comes up. Anything interesting? Yeah, you got a lot of work. Doesn't end though. You got a lot of work left with the Maniac Riot Wrestling. BBA coming back for a Wednesday show, or was that a one-time thing for a while, or you got any?
Yeah, I think that was just one time for now because
in the schedule. I didn't know if
yeah,
you had
once I got these figures in, he definitely wanted to jump in.
Yeah, I didn't
So
know
that
if you had more
we
to
could
talk.
discuss this. I wouldn't say disappointed, but I would say I really wish that we had a whole lot more involvement. In all honesty, I really thought we were going to have at least 30 to 50 people in the live show. And I mean, it was a good show. They're always great shows. I always enjoy them. I always enjoy the commentary and everything. But I honestly thought we were gonna have like 50 people, actively throughout the entire show. I thought there was gonna be a lot of questions, so I really wanted it to act as sort of like a Q&A session, and it was just more me and BBA kind of talk about like what our expectations were, what the updates were, what was going on,
Yeah.
and weren't a lot of questions, so really weren't a lot of things to answer as far as viewer concerns or anything like that.
Nicest, coolest wrestler you ever met. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't know how you plan these things. Sometimes it's a lot of luck involved, especially getting strangers, or maybe people are busy. I haven't seen a lot of Ross and some of the other Lance. I haven't seen in a while. I haven't seen a lot of the regulars in a while. Nicest, coolest wrestler you ever met. I can only remember a few wrestling shows. I remember getting the Bushwhacker signature. I don't know where it is now, though. I wish I still had it. It was just on a random piece of paper. They came around. Ooh, wow, really? DDP.
I really wish I knew if the
nice.
wrestler, I use wrestler, if I really wished the guy that I met, if I knew if he really was Hulk Hogan.
What would you?
Because if he looked like Hulk Hogan, but I don't know if he was. Because I was so freaking young. I remember looking at this guy, I'm like, are you Hulk Hogan? I didn't ask him this. I just remember looking at him and thinking that. So this had to be like
coffee or something.
I'm going to throw out a year because I'm speculating. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 1992. So 1992, I was 7 years old.
Okay.
My mom, my older sister Connie, and I want to say it was just the three of us. I don't think anyone else came with us. So the three of us, we left Chicago, we took a Greyhound, and we went to visit my uncle and cousins in South Carolina. So at some point, we're on the Greyhound, and we're trying to get off the bus. Probably went to get off the bus to go use the bathroom or something. We were at a bus stop, and I couldn't get off the damn back of the bus. And some guy gets up, hey, let me get that for you, and he opens the back door for me. I look up, and this dude standing over me looks exactly like Hulk Hogan.
Oh, okay.
Now, to this day, I have no freaking clue whether or not that was Hulk Hogan. And now that he's gone, I can't ever meet him and ask him, hey, man, we ever riding a damn Greyhound back in 1992? Because
probably not.
I still want to say that, hey, I met Hulk Hogan because
as far as you know, you did.
I mean,
and probably if you would have asked him, he would probably, if he was nice enough that day, he probably just said, "Oh yeah, that was me." Right?
There's this picture.
Even if it wasn't, I would have said it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I remember you."
There's a picture that somebody posted on Facebook that shows some random guy. He technically could have been you for all we know, posing with some kid, and he's like, "I met Stone Cold Steve Austin."
Didn't look like him.
I mean, he kind of looked like him, but like I said, it could have been a picture. It could have been a picture of you for standing next to the kid, looking like Steve Austin,
Yeah.
And then the guy, the adult, he's like, young kid, like I met Steve Austin, and like, man, all these years later, I'm like, man, I can't believe this guy was. I thought this guy was Steve Austin. I mean, kind of looks like him, but.
Mm-hmm. If only we could get Bum to like shave his head and stuff. He's got a good Stone Cold impression. He could go around pretending to be Steve. Cool.
Oh no, Superman, you're good.
Cool. Now that would make sense. He spends a lot of time in Florida. I could see that. Saw Hogan at a restaurant in Clearwater. I bet. Because where's his? Didn't he have? He has a few of those shops. Well, did. And he had some in Florida. I forget where, but I think Clearwater, the area. I don't know Florida real well.
The only thing I could think of is like, why would Hulk Hogan, especially in the 90s,
be on a Greyhound bus?
Being a major superstar, what the hell would he be doing on a freaking Greyhound bus?
Even if he traveled by bus, he could probably afford like a John Madden really nice bus, which he didn't. But like Madden had a really decked out bus because he hated flying, and he would travel via bus. And I think even CM Punk, I've seen on some of his videos, he's got a nice bus. I don't know if that's just for short trips or to travel to the airport, but if I was Hogan, if I had Hogan's money, and I wanted to not fly, I would probably get a nice buster and driver and let them drive me. But you never know. Well, like a buddy of mine used to say, if I had Hogan's money, I'd throw away mine, right? If you had some rich person's money, like that's kind of fun. You throw away yours, like your money isn't useful, but it's kind of a neat little way to say it. Like if I had Warren Buffett's money or Donald Trump's money, I'd throw away mine. So like, yeah, I guess that's true. You wouldn't have to worry about whatever money you have. If I had Zach Gallen's money, I'd throw away mine. Yeah. Or Kyle Tucker now, he's making good change, or any of those guys. Yeah, that could have been him. But I mean, who knows? I mean, because I don't like flying either. And if I was rich, I'd do the John Madden route. And you could, and if you had that kind of money, you could pay someone and give them benefits even to just drive you around. That'd be cool. A nice bus where you could sleep and have like a full shower and stuff, maybe a hot tub. I mean, if you got money, spare no expense. That'd be pretty neat. If you're going to travel, I mean, it would be slower, right? Clearly, flying would be faster. And actually, with that kind of money, maybe you'd rent a private jet and then you can skip all that stuff. I don't know. It's just flying's not that much. Commercial flying's not that much fun. I don't know how often Hogan had to commercial fly, in his later years, but if you could rent a jet or maybe first class, I don't know. I'm sure you could afford it. But yeah, that's some of those. Mm-hmm.
John Samard, he runs Kayfabe Customs on Facebook, and he has all of these amazing Remco custom figures, right?
Is it only Remco? He specializes in Remco. That's the line.
Yeah. Yeah, so he has probably 1,000 Remco figures or more, and he has these Remco tournaments.
Yeah.
He has two figures, sometimes tag teams. And
does he use all 1,000 figures?
Probably
How long
more.
does it take to do those videos? Like how many LGNs are in your tournaments typically?
Well, he doesn't make videos. He has Facebook posting, and it's like so and so versus so and so, and the on Facebook, you choose which one you want to move forward to the next round.
Oh, so you let the fans choose. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, so it's not a video; it's just a Facebook posting.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of videos.
And then once it's finished, he'll put some kind of message like, so and so finishes off so and so with the finisher, and, some kind of closing, some catchy closing, and
wrestling story, schoolboys him, or his man hits him with a 2x4 or something.
But he put out a lot of pictures, guys like Danny Davis and David Schultz, and some guys like that, right? People that he would like to see as LJN, and I'm like, absolutely. Because there's a lot of times, a lot of folks put out all these names, and I'm like, dude, trust me, I would love to release all of these names that all these folks are putting out, but
you've talked
the reality is, I just have no freaking clue how to reach out to a lot of these guys. I mean, I wish I was in the business. I wish I was in the know-how. So there's someone who reaches out to me in my comments section a lot, Sanjay, and they gave me a WWE phone number to reach out to them directly, but that wouldn't work because you really can't reach out to the company, because why would I be cutting into their business, their profits, by trying to reach out to guys like Sergeant Slaughter and make figures when they could reach out to Sergeant Slaughter and make him, themselves, right?
And then probably they're not in the business of handing out phone numbers to private citizens, even if they used to be a wrestler either, too, right? Now they might say, send us a letter and we'll forward it, but they're not going to give you, oh yeah, let me just get Brutus Beefcake's number so you can call him up. Like, they're not going to do that. They'll get sued, right? I'm assuming, if he wants to be private, he doesn't want all random people calling him, or Greg Valentine.
Exactly.
Danny Davis is probably available though, because Tyler Run Toys made a figure of him, right? I don't know if he's still alive or if his state is. So, he is available if you want to make an LGM. I'd be more excited about a David Schultz myself, but, either one.
But Danny Davis, I see him more as a manager than wrestler, right?
Yeah.
And if we come out with Bumshadows, I'm more interested in seeing Bumshadows referee right now, because I think that's the fastest way we can get Bumshadows released. And
no, you could get Hebner probably. I think he's available, or his brother. One of them's passed away. You could probably get Earl or Dave or both.
I think David is gone, right? Because Earl keeps getting his figures coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think David's estate, maybe Earl probably helped him because there's a few like 2-packs and stuff, which makes sense. It's kind of cute. And his family probably could use the money, but you probably get them because you've seen him in different lines, so that's kind of like your giveaway that they're not beholden to just WWF, WWE, and Mattel.
But if you had Davis, Hebner with Bumshadows, would you have like a whole series of referees? And what people buy?
You don't want too many, right? How many referees do you really need? Maybe one, maybe two. Like how many referees do I want to buy? Depending on how many figures you have, eventually, sure. But like you release a couple lines, you release like 8 figures. You don't want like 2 of them to be referees. That's probably too many. Maybe one to start, and then a few down the line. Well, how many referees did LJN have? Any referees? They did
2 of them.
2 out of 80?
The white shirt and red and white shirt and blue shirt referee in series.
They were just generic though, weren't they?
Yeah.
And out of how many figures? LJN released what, like 90 some, was it, or 87 or 93 or?
I count them as 74, but 74. I mean, depending on how you count the variants and all that, different people might count them differently.
2 out of 70 or 80, that's not a lot.
So right now, what we got guaranteed, we got BBA probably with at least 2 or 3 variants if we wanted to. Mm-hmm. We got Damian Riot probably with a couple variants if we wanted to.
You need to.
If I wanted to release the Wadi Soldier, we could probably do 3 or 4 variants on that one.
Mm.
Well, let's say 3 variants. But we could probably do the Jason Nupp New 80s Revolutions, which is still a possibility. So, I mean, that's at least 4 characters right there. Bumshadows, that gives us 5 characters. Ooh. So, the special release with the Mega Superstar that we're promising at the end of the month, that gives us 6 characters. Bumshadows, because we got wrestler Bumshadows and referee, that gives us technically 7 official figures with 7 molds.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the lineup is growing. Problem is, this is the only mold that's actually paid for.
Yeah, and they don't give away molds yet, do they? You can't go to the dollar store and get a mold.
And I still got to pay for the 150, 250 figures I want to pay. And the posters are already designed. BBA has already designed all the posters.
Oh, nice.
Whenever we get a new character, all we got to do is swap out the character and slap it on the poster. That should be really easy to make, right? Mr. Fuji Super, I don't think we can get Mr. Fuji, and I don't know if I would want to make a Mr. Fuji, only for the simple fact that he already exists in the original LJN line, and I'm trying to make figures or characters that don't.
He also used to wrestle. Could you have a wrestler, Mr. Fuji?
Possible. I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I mean, like I said, I've talked about the other guys, Teddy Biasi, Greg Valentine, Honky Tonk Man, etc. So it's possible. No summer. Summer. No summer.
Cat getting into it.
No summer.
What are you doing? Mischief. Trying to get into mischief. You're on the show again.
It's a bad summer. Who's got beautiful golden eyes? Who's got pretty golden eyes? What you looking at?
The cat portion of the show.
Bye, Summer.
Too bad Summer can't play an instrument. You can be the musical guest. Oh, you got Super Slav asking a question.
Company names buy and sell pro wrestling figures.
I guess you guys did. Now you're switching.
I don't personally make them. I'm going through a factory in China that I have to pay for the molds, and so they create the mold cavities, and they will do the mass production. They will do the painting and all that. I try to do everything locally. Unfortunately, there are no manufacturers in the United States that makes this stuff, and I don't know why. So
too expensive.
I have to do everything international. Yeah, pretty much, I guess.
Too cheap in China, I assume. I haven't looked, but
I tried to, because I know Ram Treasures. They pour their own mold. They pour their own rubber, like actual rubber. My first step was actually try to reach out to Net at XOX Customs by Ram Treasures and see if she. So when the factory ships the figures, they're going to ship them to me. And when I physically have them in hand, I'm going to post them and let people know they're available for sale. So I don't do pre-orders. The only time that the only time that people are gonna pay for them is when I physically have them in hand, ready to sell. And I'm gonna be the person that's gonna ship them and ship them out to the customers.
Nice
So I
change of pace
wanted
from all
to,
the pre-order models.
yeah, exactly. So I wanted to work with Net at XOX Custom, so I reached out to her to see if she might be interested in collaborating. This was like last summer, so this was a long time ago. This is long before I reached out to any factories or anything like that. I guess she just didn't have any interest. Either not interested or maybe the price wasn't right. Maybe she wasn't going to earn any profit, which is understandable, right? Because even if I were to pay for the mold, with one mold, maybe she can make like 25 figures off of one mold, one mold cavity.
Yeah.
And let's say that's $1,000 to make a mold cavity, and she gets 25 figures. Well, let's say she sells them on Etsy and she gets $130 a pop after a 10% discount. She sells them on Etsy after that discount. Her net earning is about $100. Let's say. Let's simplify the process. So she has to sell 10 figures just to pay me back that $1,000 just for the first $1,000 mold that I paid for, right?
Yeah.
All right, she's doing a BBA figure. I get a free figure because it's my idea, right? Bone Breaking Action gets a free figure. She gets a free figure out to Jason Nepnui's Revolution because he does the advertising for her. That's three free figures. That's 13 figures already in the hole before she earned any profit. So she makes 25 figures. That's 12 figures remaining. $100 profit on each one. That's $1,200. I mean, that may not be worth her time because she hand paints each individual figure.
Wow. Yeah.
Plus the time it takes to pour the mold or pour the rubber on each individual piece. I can understand why she may not have interest in working with me on creating these figures. Plus, what's her concern? What if it doesn't sell?
Mm-hmm.
So
it'd been nice
that was
if she would have said no, but she kind of ghosted you a little bit, right?
Yeah, pretty much, and that kind of hurt. But I mean, I can understand why she might have had why she may not have been had any interest. So when you look at it from that point of view, and I'm not gonna be mad or anything because I have to look at it from both sides of the spectrum, and when I'm looking at it from a financial standpoint, from a business standpoint, she might be right.
Yeah.
So at least this way, it's my own business. It's Waddy's channel exclusive. It's a Maniac Riot Wrestling release. It's not a XOX Customs release. So, and I think that was another thing because I wanted it to be known that it was a Waddy's channel exclusive, and it's a XOX Customs business. So maybe that was another hold up. So
need to be able to sell to both, maybe.
Yeah. So. Let's see. I saw the store on your channel. Just wondering if you sell them online. Do they paint them or just make the mold? The factory makes the figures and they will do the painting and everything. The store. So I did find out from YouTube a few days ago or maybe last week that I reached some kind of partner program or something that I could start selling stuff
through YouTube.
Through YouTube. So. Like if let's say I'm shouting out Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, Big Rubber Guys in my video or something, I can connect the store to Big Rubber Guys. And if somebody goes to Big Rubber Guys and they buy something, maybe I could get a vote or something, but I have to tag them or something, which I didn't do. So, it doesn't really affect anything. Eventually, yes, I'm hoping that once I create my website, I haven't done that yet. I haven't created the website. So that's probably going to be the last thing I do. Once I at least have all of this stuff actually made and they're ready to ship, that's probably when I'm going to start doing the LLC, start doing the website, because that's not going to take long to make.
And if you made
There's
the
no
website
way-
today, it's not like you're going to sell any figures because you're not doing pre-order.
Exactly. There's no point to make the website today, because nobody has anything to buy at any point. So
It'd be like AJ, he's got to bring home all the action, but there's nothing to sell yet.
Yeah.
But I assume, I forget which
and you
one.
gotta pay a monthly fee for owning the website and everything, and it just doesn't make
Hosting it.
sense for me, because
Yeah,
I'm not
hosting
making
it.
any money. So, all I'm living off of is my military retirement and whatnot. So, and my resale business, but I don't really do a whole lot resale business wise. So,
not enough to live on, pay a mortgage with yet. Take a lot of effort to resell. I know I'm definitely too lazy. Of course, I still have a day job, so.
Yeah, I got a lot of Ric Flair figures, man. A ton of Ric Flair figures. But Ric Flair in general is like one of the most coveted or most popular action figures to make, though, in general.
Yeah, I mean, like we've seen, Andy's available in a lot of different lines, a lot of different styles. You want a retro, you want an LGN, no modern gloobs. Several different LGN types. You want Latoonie, you want BRG, yeah. I mean, heck, even at Clark Major, there's probably 4 or 5 or 6 different variants already. Ric Flair.
Yeah, suited one has 2 variants. For the one that's like kind of like this.
He's super popular.
So the purple blooded one, the blue, light blue with the belt, the green trunks, and red trunks.
And then suited. And then another suited.
Yeah,
I guess it's different.
So 6 of them.
Yeah. I don't have them all, but I've got enough. I definitely, the blue one with the belt seems to be the easiest one to get, and that's probably the best one, I think, because you get a belt too.
And how messed up is that?
Isn't that weird? That's the best one.
The one that comes with the accessory is the easiest.
I don't know why they didn't give a belt with the other ones. I would like to get the bloody one. I don't need the red trunks one, but I'm not paying. Yeah, if I could get a nice loose deal, because I don't need it mint on card, and somebody would sell it for something reasonable, but you don't see that. Because I think it was probably a convention release or a limited. They only release so many of them, so people think they've got gold. So they don't want to. They don't get out of bed for less than a couple $100 probably for that.
I think the Damian Riot might not be. I mean, it's a great figure. I think it might be the worst. I don't want to say worst selling figure. I think one of the things that might help it become a high rated seller is the fact that it comes with an accessory.
I like it.
And if it is going to be a rubber accessory, cane accessory, like I hope it is, I'm hoping they actually can make it rubber, so that if it falls off the shelf, it doesn't break, because that is a huge issue with Freddie Blassie and Mr. Fuji and guys like that, is that you want to go out and buy an original Mr. Fuji LGN cane accessory. That damn thing's like $60 just for an original. You want to buy a custom Mr. Fuji LGN cane, it's like $20, right? For custom.
What was the original cane made out of? It wasn't rubber, huh?
No, it was like plastic or something like that. So
I wonder why they did that. I didn't even know that. And so they break or they lose them. Well, probably losing them too is a problem. Huh? I didn't think about that. I wonder why. You make that whole big figure out of rubber. You couldn't pay a little extra for the rubber. That's weird. I didn't know because I don't remember if I ever had Blassie or Fuji as a kid. And probably if I did, I lost a cane probably because I was an irresponsible kid. And I haven't really looked at much since. I don't know. Yeah, because I know I have a Hillbilly Jim with his hat. I think that's rubber. Maybe it's plastic. No, it felt kind of rubbery. I have to go feel it again.
So I think
I
know Jason wants his action figure to be the black pants, kind of like the Ricky Steamboat black pants, black shoes. But I want to change that up. I know it's his idea, his figure. The Greg Valentine, we can stick with that. But I kind of want to turn his figure, not Jason Speed, Jason Nupp, obviously.
There you go.
So the Jason Nupp figure. But I want to turn it into, hey, what's going on, Ross? So I want to turn it into kind of like what Mattel did with the John Cena figure. It could be, I want to do like, maybe blue jeans with a red t-shirt or something. Maybe you kind of have like the New 80s Revolution on the shirt or something like that, like really make it stand out. The because originally New 80s Revolution was supposed to be our very first release. And the factory, they're like, we can't make this figure. because the way the glasses popped off the head, like you
Right.
can't do it. And I'm like, that's stupid.
Oh,
Like the fact that the glasses kind of came off the head, that was awesome. Like I love the way that pops, like the way that the letters
yeah.
pop off the t-shirt, like that's amazing.
So they can do glasses, but it has to be like molded in, and they can't come off, and he has no eyes.
Exactly.
Glasses. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he who shall not be named, kind of screwed us. With that, he basically screwed us with all the figures. He screwed us with that one. He screwed us with the original design for BBA for my soldier figure for the devil.
Mm-hmm.
With that devil figure, I don't know what the hell he was thinking with that.
Mm-hmm.
The original design for the devil figure was really bad, and here's the thing: the original design for the devil, they were all supposed to be 2-packs, right?
Yeah.
They were supposed to be.
That'd be cool.
The card was supposed to be like this.
Right, there you go. Yeah, landscape.
So, hold on, the darn thing fell up. So they were supposed to sit on the card like this.
There you go. Yeah.
Like Remco.
Yep.
And he told me that he couldn't get them on the card based on the pose I wanted. So that's why he altered the fighting pose of the figure, and that's why I got the devil figure that I got from him.
That's quite an executive decision he made on his own, right? He didn't ask. Yeah. What does the factory do when something like happens? Don't they ask you? The factory doesn't just make decisions, right? They're not like, well, this won't work, so we'll make the decision.
Well, he showed me the new design, and I had to approve it. But the point is, they were supposed to be. It was supposed to be a 2-pack. For months, we've been talking about 2-packs. This was last year.
And you emphasize 2-pack is what you want. This is an important.
We had 100 million conversations. 2-pack.
Cool.
The whole idea was foul mouth drunkard versus how was it? Because that was the gimmick. That was the advertisement. That was the comedic grudge match thing that we had going on. That was the whole idea between
the story with the way you've got the figures packaged together.
Between the whole collaboration and everything. It was the whole fun idea between the whole two channels, clashing and everything. It was a unique, fun idea, and
I mean, at a minimum, as soon as he ran into it, he should have said, "Hey, here's the problem." Instead of just changing it on a whim without telling you.
Yeah, but he told me he couldn't make the design because it wouldn't fit in the bubble. But I'm like, and then so he altered the arms, and I'm like, okay, fine. If it couldn't fit in the bubble, it's gonna be a 2-pack, so be it. But then when he made the figures, he put them all in one single card. I'm like, hold on a minute. If you're putting it in one single card, then changing the arms made absolutely no freaking sense. Because unlike big rubber guys, where they have that second inside insert,
another bubble.
It didn't have that secondary insert. All it had was that one outer layer. So the figure, when it's inside, all it does is fall all over the place when you move it around.
Which you don't
want. I'm like, he made all of these lies. He lied to me like every opportunity. He sold me the farm and failed to meet me at every aspect of it. You told me you could make card backs. I don't know what kind of piece of paper bullshit you printed out, but that wasn't no fucking card. You told me you could make bubbles and all that. You gave me some piece of plastic and called that a bubble. I'm like, what? Come on. You didn't give me no inserts. You told me you could make rubber figures. Oh, I gave you flex resin. And then you tried bullshitting me and telling me that because I painted it, that's why it doesn't bend. I'm like, get the fuck out. Okay, if that's the case, here's the thing. If painting the figure made it non-bendable, the second you painted it should became null and void, because this is what I wanted with my figures.
Which you also said over and over again, and he knew, right?
Yes, and I paid you. I paid you beautifully. I paid you handsomely for rubber figures. I paid you twice for 2 of these. I paid you 2 for the Jason Nutt figures. He only sent me 1. Like, so that guy, he screwed me up on like every aspect of it. I'm like, even before I bought all these figures from him for like years, I had been shouting him out as this great LJN customizer.
Right.
And I had bought like 10 figures from him over last year. All of these special customs, and I also bought other stuff that he personally made, for other so I was buying a ton from him, and he was going to be my special customizer for this line. So, and I was going to make a action figure of him too. He was going to be my first indie wrestler.
He was going to
so
make
when
out past and future business. He was going to make out, and this is how he repays you.
I was going to make him a huge part of this company. Like I was actually going to pay him, to be part of the company and everything. So, like I was going to reward big time.
Mm-hmm.
But every aspect, like he kept screwing me big, and I even reached out to him. I'm like, look, dude. I try showing like all these PayPal purchases. Like, hey man, look at these payouts. Like, look, I overpaid you, and you overcharged based on what you sent me. No man, no. Like I covered you. Like, all right, man, I'm done with you. Like this is done. I went to a different customizer, and I got the product I wanted. All right.
There's the reset.
Yeah. So
hour 15 minutes exactly again. I need to keep track of that. That's so weird. But yeah, you won't get any more of your money.
You only put him in the trunk of my car.
Yeah. Ross is willing. Ross will help you out.
But yeah, I was just but the problem is that put us like waiting on him all those months to do his work.
Just to get crap.
That put us
way behind.
Probably 8 months behind because we waited like 4 months for him to make my first figure, my soldier figure. And then when I, went with because I had to redo the soldier figure because it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't the right paint scheme, but the pose wasn't right, all that.
He made you something you didn't want? No way. First time for everything.
Yeah. So he gave me a resin figure. I wanted rubber. He was supposed to redo it for me. And then I went with the double BBA, the Jason Up figure, and I had to wait almost 4 to 6 months more, however long it was, still nothing. So yeah, it pretty much all of 2025 waiting for that crap. Yeah. So that's why it's taken so freaking long for this stuff to come through, because look at how long we were waiting for him to get done with his process. And then when we went through Kevin to redo the Devil and BBA, it really isn't taking as long for this as people think. It's just the fact that we're behind because we had to redo everything.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's a shame.
If we had just started with Print Fury the first time around, this would have already been done, released, and in people's hands by now.
No, all you can do is move forward. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It sucks. He lost a lot of personal and professional business, though.
Yeah, we're off time.
Time to move on for him. So Ross is willing to help out. Make him an offer he can't refuse. Put a horse head in his bed. What do you need to do? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so like I said, like years before I had any business dealings with him, I had been shouting him out for years, on my channel, like calling him out for being like this awesome customizer, because you hear about his name, you hear about him, you hear about these other guys through the grapevine, you know about their expertise in the LGN customization world. So when people ask about who does all this amazing custom work and whatnot, you bring them up. And then when I started buying from him, I still gave him all this great advertisement and shout outs and whatnot. But no more, man. Like I won't even say his name anymore, because I'm just like, I was just so freaking disappointed with what we got in. And when I got the figure in, like I couldn't be disappointed, because like when I got my first soldier figure, I'm like, okay, it's cartoony, but it's not what I wanted, but like it's a figure of me. I have my own action figure, man. Like I can't be mad. Like
you're excited, yeah. Still,
MRW wasn't really something that I was planning. Like I just had to figure myself. I had to be super excited about that.
That's what.
And when I got the rest of the figures in, I'm like, okay, there's something. I mean, they're serviceable. They're not something I'm like over the moon, crazy ecstatic about. But there's something.
You start somewhere, right? It's a start, yeah.
Yeah, it's something that if I were to release these, I mean, fans could still be happy about them. I mean, Big Rubber Guys, what they come out with aren't exactly home runs with every. I mean, if you saw that one figure that Big Rubber Guys was coming out with the guy that had his hands in the pocket, like what the hell is that all about? I don't know who the hell that character even is.
Yeah, Jim
But
Cornette literally calls him pockets. Orange Cassidy, he's an AEW wrestler. That's one of his gimmicks. Is he'll wrestle you with his hands in his pockets, and he'll like do a kip up with it. I mean, it's very athletic, but he's kind of small, and it's comedy wrestling. So Jim Cornette's not a big fan. So he calls them pockets, or what his puppy pockets, or I think he also calls the AEW mascot. He's got some funny words from Orange Cassidy is his name. But yeah, I was kind of like, it makes sense because they have a partnership clearly with AEW, right? They have that 4-pack, and then they got I think Adam Copeland coming out sometime. I don't know when they're going to get shipped. I kind of forgot I pre-ordered him. He looked kind of big though, because Cassidy, like I said, he's a very thin wrestler, like AEW most of them are. So the figure itself looked a little too thick to be Orange Cassidy, but you could clearly tell he's got the jeans look and he's got his hands in his pockets.
but that right there was a really bad figure. I mean, Ethan Page, for example, from Big Rubber Guys, really bad figure. I mean, Big Rubber Guys, they have a lot of misses. But so I mean that the figures that I got from him, I mean, if I were to release those particular pieces, would they sell in rubber form? Maybe they could have done well. I don't know.
Do you have the model from Big Rubber Guys?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean,
it's not as bad. Some people
it's good. It's not great. Like it's a lot of.
They're going to re-release it. They're not even changing anything. They're just going to put them in
different color scheme. Yeah.
No, like that didn't look like they improved on them. Some of the because they got some feedback from some. I thought it was constructive. Some people were babies about it, but
yeah, they didn't like the sunglasses. I mean, I like the figure. Like it's not like a 10 out of 10, but I like it. I thought it was like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Like I thought it was a solid piece.
I don't know if I need another one. I'm kind of getting torn about some of the repaints. I'm not sure. Not sure if I'll order it, but I feel like FOMO will get me and I'll order it. Goldust. Yeah, is Dustin Rhodes available? No, he's probably no. I think he's still in cahoots with AEW. Well, Goldust, the figure, probably is owned by WWE, though, isn't it? No, I think
I'm still mad at the WWF for stealing my idea with Goldust. Son of a gun.
That was your idea. Goldust was.
Goldust was my idea years before they came up with that SOBs.
I wonder how that would be. I never heard him talk about it, but that got to suck to wrestle in, like that full body suit or whatever. It didn't look very breathable. I mean, that's got to be annoying to wrestle in that. It kind of reminded me a little. It reminded me a little bit of the Catwoman in like Batman 2, Michelle Pfeiffer. I heard that was terrible to wear, and she was just acting in a movie. I could imagine going out and wrestling in something like that. Now hers was obviously tighter, because she's a little easier on the eyes. No offense, Dustin Rhodes, but wearing something like that, like I don't know if his was all leather, but it didn't look like it breathed. And I imagine running around the ring taking bumps in that thing, let alone the makeup he would wear. They don't. Yeah, I wonder if he can do. I assume Goldust, the gimmick, the character's owned by WWF. They're real good at owning that stuff, so he probably can't whip that out. He kind of has a partial Goldust, like he wears a similar outfit. I think he paints half his face, but he didn't call himself Goldust when he
was it Stardust or something like that.
Well, Cody had
or is that Cody?
Yeah, but that was also on WWF. Yeah, I don't know. I think he just called himself Dustin Rhodes, but he had part of the gimmick. I only saw him wrestle a few times in AEW. I haven't watched all the backlog, and
there's a really lazy. I think it was a Royal Rumble where Goldust comes in and he's like partially, like you mentioned, partially painted, but he doesn't have any of his Goldust suit on. He's like a gray jumpsuit or something. I'm like, what kind of lame ass shit is this? But it was funny as hell because I remember Jeff Jarrett like throwing Owen Hart over the ropes and Owen coming back in. And of course, Jeff Jarrett, he's doing his little strut. And then Owen he comes back over the ropes. He takes Jeff Jarrett and he just flings him over the ropes, like 20 feet over the ropes.
Who did?
Owen Hart, after Jeff Jarrett throws him over the ropes. And then, Owen comes back over the ropes again. And then Jeff Jarrett's doing his little strut. And then Owen Hart grabs him from the behind and then flings him. He flings him the same way friggin' Hulk Hogan flung Mr. Perfect over the damn ropes back in 1990.
Mr. Perfect.
I mean, he went flying.
Mr. Perfect could take a bump. You know how some of those Mr. Perfect was great at it. Bret Hart at times, definitely Macho, Ric Flair. They could really sell for you on something. I mean, Hogan's a strong guy, but still, that was part of that was perfect selling, right? That flinging over the ropes. Well, yeah, wasn't that the one? I think because it was the final and he won the Royal Rumble. I think Hogan, because he threw him over like the ring.
The post.
Yeah, it wasn't just over. So I'm like, it was a real big bump he took. He made it look tremendous. I mean, it takes two to tango, right? They're cooperating, but Mr. Perfect could take some bumps. He was really good at it. Rest in peace, Kurt Hennig. Magnum TA you probably can't get. Well, maybe he might have to raise some money for his Power Town figures if they to pay for him to get off the boat from China or whatever. But oh yeah, and they're a good 2-pack. You can get a well, you probably can still get a Dusty and Magnum TA Big Rubber guy. I got both of them. I got one of the Dusties. I don't have the. Wasn't there a limited edition Dusty where he just changes the boot color? I'm like, yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah, but see, all these names like Magnum TA and Dusty, like because they have so many figures out there already. Like I wouldn't want to make those. Well, I don't want to say I wouldn't want to make them, but like given the opportunity, yeah, I probably would. But the reality is because other guys are already making them. What do I keep saying? I want to make guys that nobody else are making.
Right. Yeah.
Like Sergeant Slaughter. Like I want to make Sergeant Slaughter, but I that was before. Well, no, because Big Rubber guys already made Sergeant Slaughter.
They did.
But this is different. This is different because I wanted to make this style Sergeant Slaughter with this exact pose.
I've seen a Mattel Elite style Sergeant Slaughter in that outfit, but not a LJN.
So that particular Sergeant Slaughter, that one speaks to me. That one I want to make. So with the right design, that's different.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. One thing that concerns me: could I get sued if I make this particular fighting pose? I don't think so, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with making an exact replica of a fighting pose, right?
I can't think they could trademark the pose, and as long as you got the thing you get sued over is if you didn't get Slaughter, if you're not paying. What's his real name? I'm drawing a blank.
Rudolph something. Damn.
Really, that's his name? Well, maybe I never knew it. But if you didn't pay him for his likeness, then you could get sued.
Yeah.
But the fighting pose itself, I think that'd be hard pressed to prove. I mean, that's a generic enough fighting pose that any figure could have. You know what I mean? I would suspect.
And I think the rendition I gave was slightly altered because I think his legs are actually straight, whereas this one is kind of obviously. Yeah. I want this though. Like I don't want his legs to be straight. I actually want the exact replica of this.
No, I got you. Yeah, we got Slav and Ross just naming random wrestlers now that they like. I mean, Nikita Koloff, I think, there's Title Run came out with some of those retros that I pre-ordered. Hillbilly Jim, that was, I think, last month, wasn't it? BRG, Collect Major. Great Muda, I know some people were chasing. I think they just came out with like a Monday Night Wars or other Mattel Elite. It's an Elite, I think, Muda, with a chase. I think there's a chase Muda, too. I saw people talking. I don't collect those anymore. But now, Big John Studd, I haven't seen it in a while. I would assume Mattel LGNs might come out with one of these days. Right, if they're bringing back some of the originals, wasn't Stud?
Yeah, I would imagine that they would probably bring back his original figure, which I don't mind because it's my favorite LJN original.
Well, was he Series 1 LJN of the originals?
Yeah,
he was one of the first, right? So they're probably working their way through. I assume. When was Bundy? Was Bundy one of the first two?
Series 2.
That's interesting. I wonder how they decide who to go with when the originals. I guess they don't want to just go through, let's release all the first ones, right? Then we'll release all the second ones. They're trying to mix it up a little, I guess. Stud, though, they'd have to. I definitely want a Sheik. And actually, I want a Piper, even though the
Big John Stud
might be weird. I just like Piper.
Even though Big John Stud has an original figure, and you know how I said I don't want to release figures that already exist in the original LGN line? I don't know. I love Stud, and I would want to get Big John Stud in blue tights, though.
Oh, there you go, to mix it up. Yeah, we already had white tights, LGN. Disco Inferno, I wonder if he's available for an LGN. I don't think he's had an LGN. Actually, I don't think I've seen many Disco Inferno figures, actually, at all. Really, have you?
You know what? No, I don't think so. You know what? Big John Stud in blue tights, but with the Series 1 Hulk Hogan fighting pose.
Ooh, now you're mixing it up. Yeah, why not?
But it would have to be his exact. It would have to be his same weight and size of the original LJN, though.
And the original LJN Stud, right?
Yeah, it would have to be like the same size, same build, same weight, and everything. And today's market, everything it's not built the same.
Well, it probably costs a little bit more, so you're going to save money and more profit and they figure people will buy the figure and they might complain, but they'll still buy it. Right. They figure it's not as important that it feels hefty. And probably for some people it doesn't. You might be in the minority there. People will just be excited. Well, I mean, heck, if you buy it, you never order it out of the package. Probably people aren't going to care that King Kong Bundy and Big John Studd are not as heavy as they used to be, right? They don't care.
Yeah.
They just keep it in the package, put it on the shelf or on the wall. And Mattel gets the sale, and they get to save a couple of even if it's 50 cents a figure. If they sell, I mean, at the scale, at the volume that Mattel's selling them, that 50 cents will add up. So
Yeah.
they're going to save 50 cents. If it means they weigh less, they don't care.
Mhm.
Junkyard Dog. Yeah, that would be another good one they should make.
I'd want to do Killer Khan. Like, I think that would be fun. I think he was supposed to be a part of the original line, if I'm not mistaken. The original series, either series 1, I believe.
Really? But then was he out of WWF by then?
I believe so. So when I was doing my Tuesday shows, I was doing the LJNs, and when I was doing prototypes and whatnot, I actually did I included the LJN custom that I have of the Killer Khan, and
that'd be a neat figure. Plus, with his different hairstyle, and
so
he'd probably be available to get an actual wrestler, but he was more of a enhancement talent at times, right? He wasn't. Be like, well, SD Jones was kind of an enhancement talent, really. He had an LJN. He'd be kind of like that, maybe not quite as well known. But honestly, do you think SD Jones is more well known because he had an LJN more than anything? I bet.
Probably, yeah.
Without the figure, he'd be in the Killer Khan territory. I only really see the Killer Khan stuff because I've been rewatching a lot of the old wrestling that one podcast does, that OVP thing. They're going through it, and that's one of their favorites too, or at least one of the guys. He liked Killer Khan. The other guy, I think it's kayfabe. The other guy, they kind of get into these fights like they're Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. I think they're kind of remaking that in their way because they always talk about them, and they were kind of a neat partnership. But they go through and they're like, oh, I like Killer Khan, or what is it? Johnny Rods, I think, was another enhancement talent they really liked. I mean, we're talking like early 80s to mid 80s WWF, right? I don't even remember these shows that they were watching. I was too young. But they watch all kinds of stuff. Those weekly shows they would do where a lot of them were setting up talent. They're saying, oh, hey, we brought in Greg Valentine. We want to put him over, so Greg Valentine has to squash a few of these people. Or that's what enhancement talent's about, to make Greg look good. He gets to beat Killer Khan this week. And then
but you know what?
Beats Barry Horowitz.
Some of the indie wrestlers that I want, and I don't want them to be looked at as enhancement types, jobber workers. No. If I sign any of these guys and they get their own action figures and they're going to their indie shows and they're releasing and they're signing their figures, they're selling them at their shows.
No, yeah, you want them to be
for my wrestling line, for kids that are playing with the figures and using them. I want them to be used as actual superstars, right?
Yeah.
Like LJN. It's called LJN Wrestling Superstars for a reason, right? You're using Coco Beware. You're using Outback Jack. You're using Corporal Kirchner. You're even using SD Jones, who really is an enhancement talent, as superstars, even though they're technically you're jobbers of the LGN line. But it's called Wrestling Superstars for a reason. They're superstars. They're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I want my Maniac Riot Wrestling line to be, the superstars of the line. But I talked about creating our friend from YouTube, who we sometimes make fun of because he keeps making himself comedic purposes. We're trying to make a jobber figure.
I think that'd be cool.
But we're specifically making it a funny type figure for a reason, right? Because it's not going to be based on any wrestler. It's going to be based on some guy that's trying to make waves, and he want to make fun of me, talk smack. Okay, fine. You wanted your action figure. We're going to want to give you an action figure. But we're not going to
make a video. But you imagine making a gimmick gag jobber figure of like someone to make fun of them on YouTube. How many people could say they did that?
Yep, so pretty much.
That'd be amazing.
Somebody, oh man, who was it? Oh man, somebody made the funniest
an action figure.
Somebody made the funniest freaking comment ever, and I think somebody said Merlin B. Wilden, and I'm like, dude, that's like the funniest thing ever.
B. Wilden.
Merlin B. Wilden. And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, so for I think that's what I'm going to call him. Instead of calling it simply Jobber on the package, I'm going to call the character Merlin.
That is Merlin the Jobber, maybe instead of the Wizard or something. I don't know, Merlin
the Jobber. Why the hell not?
I do like the idea of just saying Jobber, but then that makes it seem like it's a generic figure when you're really kind of making fun of someone else. So I like the Merlin call out. Oh, definitely George the Animal Steel. Hopefully they re-release him. Do you think Mattel? I hope Mattel keeps playing him. I think it'd be neat eventually if I could buy all of the original LJNs in Mattel form. That would probably make me pretty happy because I don't want to. I don't have the time or the inclination to track down the original LJNs. I just got to admire them from afar, like on Waddy videos, and other people have collected them, so I don't have to.
All right, hold
I've
on.
got two, but that's.
I'm hungry, so I gotta go get me a bowl of mayonnaise to eat.
Oh, okay. There you go. A bowl. Oh my gosh, I like mayonnaise as much as the next guy, but I don't know if I've ever. I can't say that. I have eaten like if I warm up a lot of times now for sandwiches. I don't use bread anymore. I like it literally actually for lunch. I just got out some lunch meat and cheese and ate it for lunch. It's a quick lunch because I was in a hurry. No bread. So when I have a leftover turkey, instead of making a turkey sandwich, I'll have like pieces of cheese, warmed up turkey, and like a pile of mayo. And I will like have a piece of turkey and then put in a scoop of mayo because it's like I'm eating the sandwich without the bread. Mayo does wonderful things for like dried out, poultry, turkey, that sort of thing. Mayo is, I mean, mayo is great. There's not a better condiment to revitalize, to rehydrate your leftover turkey and chicken. It really, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like when you have something that's super chocolatey. What's the best drink to have with something chocolately? Milk. Mayo is perfect for like I wouldn't sit down and be like, oh, this fudge brownie is great. Let me go get a can of soda. That would be the weirdest thing. No, it's milk. It's always milk. Mayo's the milk of milk is the cookies as mayo is the turkey. I don't know, something like that. This shit is garbage. You'd rather put garbage on your turkey sandwich than mayo. Actually, did we ask Ross what he puts on the turkey sandwich? Maybe he just avoids turkey.
You get on my.
Or who's that? The one guy, was it Kelvin that said, the Kraft sandwich spread? I don't think it's mayo, but it looks mayo-ish. I still need to try that. I haven't tried that. Because like I say, now all my sandwiches I just kind of eat with a fork on a plate without bread, so I don't always need a condiment anymore. I kind of miss mayo. I haven't had mayo in a while. Only around Thanksgiving now. Maybe Christmas if we have a Christmas turkey. But it seems like a lot of times my family get-togethers, we get ham for Christmas. Mayo fruit salad. That sounds great. And a spoon of peanut butter and hot sauce. Mayo.
You know what? I was a fan of Barry Horowitz, so I can't complain about that. And I love mayonnaise, so I put mayonnaise on. Well, I can't say I put it on everything, but
yeah. What's the commercial with the hot sauce? I put that shit on everything. Which one is that one? That's mayo for me. No, it isn't. But probably barbecue sauce in general. But I'm a wuss, so I would mayo's. I always used to say like anything spicier than mayo. No, that's it. I don't want it. But there's a hot sauce they say that I put that shit on everything, but they bleep it out. I forget one of the hot sauces.
Oh, everybody! We gotta start doing. We need to have everybody get on New 80s Revolution's page and be like, "When are you gonna do a live stream with me?" Because he needs to start answering some darn questions. I need him to respond and.
Is he ducking you?
Pretty much. God dang it! I sent him because he's off Facebook now, and I don't have his, so I can't reach out to him on Messenger anymore.
Oh.
And I sent him a message on Gmail, but he don't darn respond to his Gmail. He's worse on Gmail.
Too busy or something? What's the deal?
I don't know.
I'm too attached.
He's worse on Gmail. Responding to messages on Gmail than he is on sending stuff out when you buy something from him on eBay. That's like a running gag on his channel. He talked about it all the time. He's like, man, I'm like the worst person in the world to ship stuff out. I'm like, which is fine because sometimes, like when I buy stuff from him, or in the past when I bought stuff from him, like I'll buy a poster or two. He'll send out like a bunch of free posters for it. I'm like, oh hell yeah.
I love those sellers. There's a local Chinese place that I order pretty frequently. They even know me my name, and all the time I'll like order just something like, oh, we threw in some egg rolls or crab rangoon or something. Like, oh, that's nice. I didn't even ask for it, right? That's great service. I mean, and it's a little thing. Like for them, it doesn't cost them much, But I remember it. I mean, like, how much is an egg roll or crab rangoon to them? It's not much. And in lost sales, it's a couple bucks. But it's the thought. Like, they just threw it in. I didn't ask for it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
That's great. I mean, you're going to go back again and again, even if the food wasn't the best Chinese in my town.
Yeah, because I just need his thoughts about his figure, because I really like the idea of alternating his piece to look like the John Cena Mattel Retro. Not the Mattel Retro, the Mattel LJN.
LJN, yeah, you talked about it. Yep.
No, obviously I don't want it to look exactly like that, but like the idea of like blue jeans or black pants or something with like a red shirt with like New Age Revolution, or maybe a blue shirt, black
They
shirt,
could be
like that.
How about black jeans? Did you ever wear those as a kid? I remember when that was all the rage. Oh, my jeans are black. Oh, okay. Before or after.
Man, I hate it when my elementary school, when they instituted
oh no, dress code.
A dress code at our school.
What'd they do?
It used to be like just you wear whatever you wear to school, and then in 5th grade they instituted dress code, so you had to have either blue jeans or black pants, and a white shirt, either a white shirt or a blue shirt. So that was our dress code. I'm like, man, this is so damn stupid.
Did they do that? Was there a problem with kids wearing inappropriate stuff, or did they just decide, we want all the kids to look the same or something?
I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
Or maybe it was a safety precaution. That way they know exactly who their students are.
Oh.
So probably a little bit of both.
Could you wear black jeans then? You said black pants. Do black jeans count as a
black pants, black jeans?
I very commonly, instead of blue jeans, I didn't like the way they looked, and so very commonly the jeans I wore as a kid were black, just to be different. I never was at a school with a dress code other than PE. Everyone had the same uniform. Every school I was at that had PE, which was all of them actually. I didn't even think that was a thing that you could choose, but apparently Illinois is one of the few states that required PE, I guess. I'm like, really? Other states don't make you do PE? We had to. Did you have that growing up? It was always Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and PE was the unit. Like, we're playing basketball this time, or football, or whatever. Could be badminton, even weird stuff indoors. And then Tuesday and Thursday were the physical fitness days, which meant typically you're running until you puke, or it's cross country day, it's run the mile day. If it's raining outside, it's run timed in the gym, right? Run for 20 minutes, walk for a minute, run, whatever it is. But I just realized, I thought that was what everybody went through, but I guess not every state has mandatory PE and every day. And I'm like, really? So I was just unfortunate as a kid. I grew up in Illinois.
Yeah. Hey, John.
Every PE class was a uniform, and some of them were crappy.
Yeah. So, John, Damian Riot is going to be the second figure released, the double figure. And to answer your question, we only had gym once a week. This was our elementary school.
Really?
We only had gym once a week.
Damn.
So let's say we had, I don't know, let's say we had art on Tuesday, and let's say we had gym Wednesday, let's say we had library Thursday.
Wow.
Or maybe we had computer class Friday or something like that. So
what grade do you remember? Was it all through like elementary? And
I don't remember having computer class until like later on in life, so probably like around 5th, 6th grade, something like that.
I think even elementary we had PE every day.
Not every day. It was only once. It was always gym was always just once a week.
How about junior high and high school? Was it still once a week?
I mean, our elementary school was kindergarten through 8th grade.
Okay, yeah. So 7th and 8th grade would be junior high. That was also just once a week, huh? Definitely. I'm pretty sure elementary was. No, I'm pretty sure elementary definitely 5th and 6th grade, because I remember physical fitness testing, and we're like, okay, every Tuesday and Thursday now we're running the mile because we're working our way towards the mile test that everybody to take. And so was I just the only unfortunate person that had PE every day? No, it was great. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, like we're playing basketball, football, baseball. I love that. But it's the Tuesdays and Thursdays where they're like, every once in a while, it would rain or something, and you couldn't go outside and run cross country or run around the track or whatever. And they'd be like, okay, you could just stay in the door and run, or they'd be nice to you and like, no, we're going to play like dodgeball or something else. I'm like, oh, great. Or kickball. Some of the gyms were big enough you could play kickball, and that was fun for a physical fitness day. That was a nice change of pace, but not always. A lot of it was just
John.
running.
No, you're good, man. So I don't think Elle saw your question, but I'm pretty sure he's going to pick up 2 or 3 here or there.
Uh-oh. No,
they're asking about.
I think he said something stupid, so I blocked him. I've got a short trigger. I'm not seeing anything. We did do square dancing in elementary school, Ross. I do remember that. We had a unit of square dancing in PE. 5th or 6th grade. I don't think junior high we did, but I remember square dancing because I remember square dancing with some lady who had the driest hands in the world that they felt like sandpaper. And then I started thinking, what the fuck are we doing square dancing in PE? What are we doing? But I do remember it was the same class we had. For some reason, he decided to have an arm wrestling tournament, which is a nice callback to, I think Ross said I looked like the guy who lost to Sylvester Stallone in Final of the Over Top. I beat all the kids in my arm wrestling class, and I almost beat the PE teacher. That would have been so awesome in 5th or 6th grade. I think he was probably just doing kayfabe with me, but because he was actually pretty good in shape. You know how PE teachers don't have to be in shape really, but he actually was legitimately. And I think we did left and right-handed, and I almost beat him, I think, right-handed, but no, he beat me. I felt pretty proud though. Like, I don't know why we did an arm wrestling tournament in PE, but he did one day, and it was nice because we didn't have to go run around the track. So none of us complained.
You know the funny thing is when I got into high school, and this actually set the stage for my future. I was so humiliated about the possibility of having to get naked and showering in front of others.
You guys actually did that in PE?
Not in elementary school, obviously, but in high school.
Not even once. The showers were there. They must have been for like the basketball and football and track, the athletes. One. We didn't have time. PE, you were lucky to have a couple minutes to change into your regular clothes and get to the next class. We didn't have time to take a shower in PE.
Well,
they never got used.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if that was even a thing, but I always thought that's what you had to do, right? So I was embarrassed about that, because she look at me. I'm not in like the greatest shape in the world. Damn.
Unless you're on the football team,
unless you freaking look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Vin Diesel, The Rock or something, right? I don't want to be getting naked. I barely want to take my clothes off from my wife sometimes, damn. So I'm like, you know what? I don't want to take gym in high school. So if you don't take gym in high school, what are you going to take? For me, I took JROTC.
Oh, okay. So that's how it
started. So I took ROTC in high school, and that obviously set the stage for me. I loved ROTC so damn much. What did I end up doing? I ended up signing up for the Army. And, obviously that set the stage for the rest of my life. And that was probably one of the best decisions I made. So there's actually people in the Army, there's actually students in high school that, after 2 years, because you either take 2 years of JROTC or you take 2 years of PE. That's really all you needed.
Okay.
But, year 3, year 4, you take those courses as electives, but you don't have to. But there's this one guy who, he was an officer in JROTC. He had ROTC as an elective. He also took gym as an elective. I'm like, dude, what the hell you think? I got it. They're both easy A's, but come on, that's stupid. What a waste.
So I was the idiot. What we used to do is we could take, I think, was it 6 classes and then have a study hall, or you could take 7 classes and go without a study hall. And I used to take the 7 classes because what you could do is choose one of the classes to not count against your grade. And I was actually pursuing valedictorian, which I ended up getting. There was like 9 of us though that got valedictorian, which is like the highest grade point average in high school. So I was playing the odds, and I'm like, the one class I would fail, I was the opposite. I would choose 7 classes and make gym my optional, which is funny because I always got an A in gym still. But so I'm out here. I think I took like every math and science class you could take to fill up to 7. And I always said, no, I don't want my gym score to count, just in case, I run the mile slow because I've always been kind of overweight. It was kind of funny. I was the exact opposite of your buddy there. I'm like, nope, I don't want my gym score to count in case I don't know the rules of badminton. That was what I always didn't get. Did you ever have actual tests that weren't physical fitness tests in PE where they would ask you? It was so stupid. They're like, oh, you need to take a Scantron, multiple choice test on the rules of basketball, badminton, whatever the sport was at the time. And I'm like, this feels like a really hard attempt to make this a real class. The whole point of this is to get us exercise. Just let us run around the court and play basketball or whatever. Why are you testing us on the rules of badminton or tennis? Yeah, it was really silly. Kind of funny now that I think about it, all this weird stuff. Apparently, I was in the minority. I don't know a lot of people other than, the friends I grew up with that had PE every day.
Yeah. Hey, John, hopefully I'm really hoping to get this figure out to the masses before summertime.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to have, like I said, 250 men. They'll be available. and I'm gonna have them. I'm gonna have them listed on Facebook, so people know that they're available. I'm gonna probably put them on Instagram. So again, if you guys are following me there, and of course on YouTube, you guys will be following my community notes. You guys will know that they're available. I'm probably gonna make. I mean, I'll do live shows, obviously, with you guys, uh, to do let you guys know what's happening. But I'll also do a regular video as well, kind of do like a sort of unboxing review video because I probably
Oh yeah.
won't have the patience to wait for a live show. So, like, if it comes in on a Friday or something, I'm probably won't want to do an immediate review the second they come in and put that video out immediately because once we have the actual figure in, packaging, get the poster, man. I'm impatient, man. Like
Can't contain
I'm want
yourself.
to get this immediately.
Yeah.
This is gonna be so darn good. I'm excited about this.
So John should like and subscribe. Smash the like and subscribe. Worst case, at least follow you on YouTube here. Follow you on all the socials, as the kids say. Hello, fellow kids. That's a thing, right? Follow me on the Twitter book and the Facegrams and the. I was trying to think of the cereal. Golden Grams. Follow me on the Golden Grams. Follow me on the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Check me out on Fruit Loops. Is that a thing? Yeah. That's
Man, now you talk about Golden Grams, and I'm just looking at the damn s'mores now, and I got to eat some s'mores cereal.
Can you imagine what they let you get away with it? Call it a cereal? S'mores. Cookie Crisp was always, I'm like, there are no mini cookies. Really? Why are my parents letting me have mini cookies in a bowl?
I mean, s'mores cereal is basically Cocoa Puffs, grams, and your little marshmallows.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's not the best. It's certainly not the best cereal. It's actually probably not the worst cereal, but it's amazing what you can get away with and call cereal.
BBA's like, buy the BBA figure before Target gets them.
Oh, are you going to be like Target and release them at midnight so that you have to wake up and pre-order them before they sell out at 2? Like they did their LGNs.
That's funny as hell.
I still haven't seen them. I still check pretty much at least once a day because I'm already on the
sometimes
work. I still check, and it's still they have not gone on available since that day. They sold out in the morning.
Hey, take care, Ross, man. Glad to have you aboard, bud. Thanks for joining the stream, man.
Enjoy the mayo, Ross. Movies are always better with mayo. That's why.
Yeah, man. I say about 5 more minutes because
that'd be random. Yeah,
about 2.5 hours.
Even stopping point.
Yeah, I was gonna stop at like 2. I was gonna stop at 9, but I'm like, conversation's been great, so I didn't want to stop at 9.
And as I say at work, I could probably use the bio break. I'm out of tea and almost out of water. I had coffee all day today, so I'm sure I'm backed up a little. But yeah, get them before Target. Yeah, you get a Target exclusive. You should drop them at Target.
Man, but we got some names popping though. That I'm happy about what's transpiring thus far. I mean, we've already got one superstar that's probably gonna get signed very recently. My baby's in the stream. So we got one superstar coming. I'm in talks with.
I'm already here. What are you talking? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm in talks with the Bushwhacker with Bushwhacker Luke.
That'd be pretty cool.
I've sent messages to Sergeant Slaughter. That's 3 guys right there that I'm excited about. And if we get Bushwhacker Luke, there's very good possibilities we could potentially reach out to Bushwhacker Butch's family and have both of them. So
yeah, I'm assuming he can help you.
And I won't wait. Like if we get Luke, I mean, I'm gonna try my best to get both of them. So
I still think it would be neat if all you could get was Luke, but yeah, a package deal. And then that could be your first like tag team 2-up or whatever you release together, maybe even. I don't know, depending what he thinks better.
And Killer Kongs. I've talked about the tag team of WCW Killer Kongs. I want them.
I forgot about that.
Like I just love the look of that tag. Like I understand they probably weren't the biggest group in the world. Apparently they have the most success or anything, but they have that unique look that I love. They're big, bulky, heavyset guys, and you know how I feel about those type of characters.
If you do them right, you can make them feel big and meaty, not like the modern LGNs from Mattel are, right? You can actually make them feel hefty and weighty.
Absolutely. So, I mean,
no offense, but you could probably get them reasonably priced too, right? You're not Sergeant Slaughter is going to command more than they are.
That is, I think. And I wonder if that is a reason why AJ had a lot of issues, signing him because he cost.
He's still pretty popular. Yeah, he's got a lot of figures. He might. I don't know. I mean, you got to try, right?
Because big rubber guys, they can afford them. I mean, they're professional wrestlers. They're multimillionaires. Like I don't have the finance. I don't have the finances for a while.
And they've been selling how many series of figures? So they've got that money too, that capital built up. So they
And
probably don't even have to pay out of their regular salaries, right? They can let the company pay for Slaughter
yeah,
figures.
and grapplers and gimmicks, kind of the same thing. You know,
Yeah. What you sell
they've
in
sold like
the
100 gazillion characters, 100 gazillion figures, and yeah, how much money do they need to make from they probably can afford a $50,000 signing bonus for Sergeant Slaughter.
kind of like in a nuclear reaction when you get enough neutrons or whatever going around, that capital, you can have the company pay for the next line instead of you having to dip into your pocket, right? And pay
Exactly.
for it. Yeah. If you once you get to that stage, as long as you keep selling figures, then you got that whatever they call it. I forget the chain reaction. Chain reaction? Is that the right term?
But damn, I don't want to. I don't want to wait until somebody else makes it and beats me to it because then they just took my dream from me.
Yeah. Do you think that Mattel will release another Iron Sheik? I want another. I want a Sheik LGN. Do you think
Yeah,
that's
I
their
think
list?
so.
Good.
I think
I
they
definitely
will.
remember playing with him as a kid. I should probably look and get an actual LGN, but I think the Mattel LGN is going to be the easiest route for me because I don't have to track down because there's a ton of LGNs on eBay, but you have to find one in the right mix of shape and price because I don't have to have mint on card. I want to open them anyways. So I'm like, but even so, finding loose LGN with the right shape for the right price, it's kind of an all day. I'm like, I don't want to spend that much time on eBay. It's tough. It's
Man.
tricky.
So
Ooh.
I want to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
What Bumshadows was talking about, one of one, no eye patch.
Like, what if
But
you
I
order the
don't want to
bum
do.
referee and he shows up with an alternate color?
But I don't necessarily want to do one of one. Like, Bumshadows eye patch, but like because LGN has all these variants, and that's like a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say I hypothetically just throw out some numbers. Let's say I buy 500 Bumshadow figures. Just intentionally do like 50 figures where he doesn't have any eye patch whatsoever. And then people go crazy, like, oh my god, there's this figure. Someone like Fig Heels reviewing a figure and he's got a figure with no eye patch. And then somebody's reviewing it like, wait a minute, my figure has an eye patch. He's got to figure out what the hell's going on here.
What is
Like
the
they're
deal?
freaking out. Like, is there a variant? Like, and then everybody's posting these figures online. Everybody's got a guy has an eye patch. Like, what? Why does everybody have an eye patch and this guy doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want them to like freak out because that's super freaking cool and unique, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say you buy a figure from me and you buy two of them.
Yeah.
And because you bought multiple figures, maybe I reward you with that special variant. And how cool would
That'd
that
be cool.
freaking be?
Mm-hmm. Like we saw with the Target pre-orders, you ordered two. I think every time I ordered two, I would get one black and one blue.
Yeah.
And that was kind of nice because I'm sure it's just somebody in a warehouse or something. It's almost
Yeah.
like they gave them instructions. Every time someone orders more than one, you got to at least mix a black card in. Because I'm pretty sure every single time I got one of each. I think one time I ordered four and maybe I got two blue cards in one package and two black cards in the other. But it still worked out, one of each. I'm like, how did they do that? It's amazing.
Yeah. Hey,
That was
Angie,
nice.
welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Hope you like wrestling and wrestling figures. Maybe mold wise. Okay, yeah, definitely you could do that because the mold wouldn't change. I wonder if the mold would probably change without an eye patch, wouldn't it? That would make complication. Or could you?
Yeah. Or just
That
not
makes
fill it
sense.
in. Make it
Okay. Can they
because
do that? Yeah, maybe.
you can just not fill it in. You can leave it blank.
Okay.
Or it can have like his gloves, be all blue, right? And then have other ones where it's like blue and orange. Kind of like SD Jones, right?
Or give them a hot
Well,
dog
no, because
stand.
his headband is all yellow no matter what. But
Oh, okay.
on both figures, but still,
Probably more than that though, because like I look at the Dusty. Was it the regular Dusty from Big Rubber Guys? Is what, yellow boots? I think, or
yeah,
no, red. Is it
yellow
red?
boots
And
and
then
red boots,
yeah, but I think the regular one's red, and all they did for the chase or the variant is made them yellow
just
boots.
yellow.
That's not enough. That wasn't enough that I've never bothered to track down the other Dusty. I'm like, I'm fine with one. I think it's red booted because it looks like the Magnum TA. I think it's not like the identical boot. Either
Yeah,
way,
that was it. The red
it
boots were
wasn't
the
enough.
original.
Okay, but it wasn't enough of a difference for me to care about getting the Chase Dusty. So that's why I don't know if gloves would be enough. Maybe it would. I don't know. But when I look at every time I look at one on eBay, I'm like, I don't even want to pay $50 for this other Dusty because it's just a
Well,
different color boot. That's it. Everything else
and,
about them's identical. Same trunk, same. Like, I don't care that much.
and that's why I figured I'd sell. I'd only release the variant to people that buy multiple figures because I would
Okay.
assume that they want to keep one for carded figures and one for a loose display, and they could just display one of them loose that way. And they'd probably want to keep the variant, the more rare one on card, and then have the more common one displayed loose.
So it's kind of like when I pre-ordered, I think it was it Pro Wrestling Tees that had the O-ring figures, the 4-pack, and they didn't say this would happen, but I pre-ordered the 4-pack, and when I got it, they gave me one of the variants, a 5th one, for free, and it was I think the Bloody Flare is what I got in mine. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So because I'm like kind of torn, I pre-ordered the 4-pack of the AEW, the first AEW figs that Big Rubber Guys collected, and they said, hey, if you buy all 4, you got a chance at a chase. And I'm kind of like, but what if I want the original one? Does that mean I have to track down? I'm like, I almost don't want the chase because I think was it a Bloody Hangman or the Tony Storm in black and white? I'm kind of like, maybe the Bloody Hangman. I kind of want the original Tony Storm. I don't know if I know that's her gimmick. That I don't know if you've seen her. What do they call her? I forget what the term is, but that's kind of they show like a gimmick, like she's coming out of the 30s, movie star type of stuff. So they'll like actually show her in black and white going to the ring. At least they used to. So that was kind of part of her gimmick at one point. But I kind of want the full color of Tony Storm. So I'm hoping I don't get that variant. I could deal with maybe a Bloody Hangman, but I almost want the originals. When I ordered the 4-pack, I'm like, should I order these separately to make sure I don't get a variant? I'm kind of torn.
I don't know. I kind of want the black and white version of that.
That would be different.
Version.
That would be different. Did you get the 4-pack?
I think I did. I think I got all of them. I'm looking forward to that Sting. That Sting is the most interesting.
It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I don't know if we'll ever get him. I think they're taking the Power Town route with him. No, I'm just kidding. Because I thought they were supposed to get him in the fall. And
numbering the figures on the bottom. Interesting. I didn't think about that. Probably that might be a good idea. If we
are all of the KWKs that way? I think I've seen a few. Because KWK is also some of the ones that'll have weird, like one of 217 or something. I don't know if it's that random, but it's like a weird number. You're kind of like, you released 200 of them? I guess that's an okay number, right? It doesn't seem like a lot. I'm like, really? You only released 200? I think I see some title runs that are only 300. Well, I think one of the monster BRGs, I think the Danhausen was only 300 for some reason. I don't know why they only made 300 of those. Maybe they were afraid they wouldn't. Oh, Danhausen, he sells more merch than he's ever wrestled. I would assume they should have made like 500 of those. Danhausen always sells out eventually. He's amazing what he's done with his gimmick to sell figures. I mean, there's like more Danhausens than I think Hogan's or Warriors.
Yeah, the only problem with numbering the figures is that if I order 250 and we say one of 250, and then they sell out, and I go back to the factory, I order another 250. I don't want to say, okay, 251 of 500 or something.
Yeah. It could be tricky. Yeah. Well, I mean, you could still number them and just not say one of 500 or something. Never put the upper limit on it. And just say you could number them just for giggles, so somebody'd be like, "Oh, I got the second one ever. I got the 5th one. Oh, I got the 100th one." And if I don't know, it's an idea.
Yeah, but then somebody looks at this and says number. I mean, they just have the number sign and 1 or something.
I'll have to look now. I have to see a few of my KWKs. I don't think I've looked at their feet. Maybe they just started it. It's something to think about. I wonder if it adds a lot of cost to the figures. Definitely, though, you want to put something on the bottom, right? Like the company name, and then probably also that's backwards, maybe a year or two. I think a lot of people, Kyle and some of the collectors, like to see the year it was actually made. Like you put the year on one foot and then your company MRW or something on the other.
Yeah,
that definitely want to do. I think the number route that might not be bad. You have to think about it maybe. Yeah, okay. So Latoonie doesn't put the year, but he does. I like it because he's got Latoonie and he's got his little character there, right? If you had a character, that would definitely be good.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of putting the year on there because a lot of people then will go talk about, what year was it released? Well, you just look at the foot, 1981. The original GNs didn't do that, did they? Did they have stuff on their feet? I didn't look.
Not their feet. Not their feet. Just the backs.
I'm looking at this Mattel Retro. Yeah, you can't see on the Mattel Retro, but there's stuff on them. You can't see it, though. You have to see in the right light, see there's the glare. I can't even read them without glasses. So it's not like it says made in China, and it does have a year, I think. But they're not doing it to be, I would definitely want to call it out better than that. I'm looking at all these different figures I have them. No, they don't have anything. These are too small. I never looked at the Everest. Yeah. So the Everest has Latoonie on it. I never actually looked until today. This is the white. I've got this in my den where I'm at in my office. So he even put Latoonie, which makes sense, on his foot. It's just a lot bigger. I never looked until today. That's kind of funny. I never thought to look. I'm like, oh yeah, he put it on there too. Even on this big ass figure. I mean, he's huge. I can't fit him back here. I need to. There we go. Plus, then the spikes, on the shoulder pads, get all these computer wires and stuff. But yeah, anyway. Oh, they did a lot more. So, what did Major? So that's interesting. Big rubber guys, right? But on the Jean-Claude Van Damme, I only have the bloody one right now. It just says Major. And then it has a bunch of verbiage on this one. CollectMajor.com. That's a little different. I never noticed. Now I'm going to go around looking at all the feet. Bums got bums and maybe nipples a little bit, sometimes nipples. I'm going to be looking at feet pics. I'm going to start an OnlyFans with figure feet pics. How about that? That'll be my second job. I heard feet pics sell. Do you think figure feet pics would sell?
Nice.
He was, yeah. Laurinaitis. What was his first name? John? Jason? Or am I thinking of the other guy? But yeah, he played in the NFL for a while. Which I don't know. I don't know which would be harder on your body if you had a long NFL career or a long wrestling career. Maybe still wrestling.
Probably football, I would imagine. Well, shoot, actually, no.
I don't know.
Actually, you see guys like friggin' Mick Foley and Terry Funk. I mean, you see what they do to their bodies. Actually, I couldn't even say that, but I don't know.
Well, and even like John Cena, if you've seen him walk, he walks a little funky. And I mean, he's taken bumps and bumps and bumps over the years, but you don't think of him, like jumping off a cage like Mick Foley did. But that's just wrestling's tough on the body.
Absolutely.
He walks a little, just a little weird. If you catch him, like I think he walks upright when he's leaving. Like his last few matches, he wanted to stand tall, literally, and walk tall and leave. But if he's just out and about, he walks a little different. And I'm sure some days are worse than others. I know Shawn Michaels. He talks about some of the stuff he's had to do. He's taken a lot of bumps, but he was another good bump taker, like your, Mr. Perfects and Macho Mans and stuff.
Yeah.
And then just taking so many bumps, even if you're landing right on your back and on. I mean, because that's not a mattress they're landing on, even if they're landing in the ring. And I think especially they always said the WWF. I think rings were a little harder than some of the others. I've heard from some of the insiders. I didn't know that.
All right, guys. I think at 2 hours and 40 minutes. That is probably going to cash it in for the night, and I think I am beat.
Ugh. Only 2 more hours to go.
Well, at 30, we're at 38.
No, this was
we're at 38%. I think that's good enough.
Brock
Lesnar puts Ming in a real fight. Who wins?
Oh, that's tough because Lesnar actually was like a real collegiate wrestler and a UFC fighter. But I always heard the stories about how tough Ming is. If Ming can rip his eye out, then I think Ming's got the upper.
Yeah.
Right now, probably Brock Lesnar's in a little better shape. But like in their prime, I don't know. It'd be tough to root against either. That'd be an interesting fight. Imagine if them in a UFC tournament or something.
But
yeah, that's neat to think about.
I'd go with Brock on this one.
It's tough because he probably is taller and bigger, and like I said, he's trained in multiple things. An actual champion collegiate wrestler too, I think, right? So he's got a lot of stuff to call on. I'm not saying Ming's a slouch, but
yeah,
tough one.
All right, guys. So on Wednesday, I don't know if I got anything going on Wednesday, but shoot, I mean,
we'll see.
If anything comes up for MRW, we'll see what happens. But as of right now, I'm going to say 50-50. But I'll let you guys know way ahead of time if anything is going on and if we have to cancel. But right now, I'd say let's plan for Wednesday.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. Just let me know if you don't have one, or maybe you're like nothing for Wednesday, save it for Saturday, or maybe you want Wednesday instead of Saturday. Yeah, we're kind of playing it by ear.
Pretty much. All right, guys. As always, thank you so much for always making this live stream so much fun. And as always, thank you to Elle for joining me and making these streams always really great. Slav, thank you for the 100. Always appreciate it. And the comments, guys.
Still don't know what you can do with those. She sent you jewels. I don't even know. I have to look what that is. I don't know. What
Me either, but I mean it's.
Oh,
I mean it's up to the channel, but it's nice to have regardless.
Bum said he's available all night. Do you want to talk about maybe Bum co-hosting again in the future?
We got here. I'm available all nights now, but I'd be on
I don't know if that's what he means. I mean, can he? Oh, but you said they have to be mobile, right? To share this way?
Yeah, I mean, I you have to do laptop or a cell phone,
Tablet
whatever,
work.
or a tablet. Yeah, I think
Because you're on
the
my iPad
iPad
now.
works.
Yeah, I always do tendies with an iPad. I always have my phone separate. Right? I've never used my phone because then I can plug this in a little bit easier. And then I don't know the phone. I should try the phone. I always felt the tablet would be better. I use my tablet more than my phone probably.
Yeah, the iPad or cell phone, but actual laptop or desktop, for whatever reason, the YouTube doesn't allow that.
Isn't that weird? That's such a
For
weird.
a dual live stream,
Yeah,
you can't do it, which is weird.
could probably get a cheap Android tablet. Actually, I've got the cheap iPad tablet. They're not too bad actually. I think just $200 or $300 for the cheap one. iPad, because it's Apple, it used to be $1 billion. And the Apple, I think the iPad Pro or whatever they call it, you can spend a lot of money. But I've never did it because this iPad's good enough for browsing the web, checking email, shopping on eBay, whatever I want to do.
Right on. All right, I'm gonna go sit with the wife and maybe jump on some more Survivors.
Uh
I
oh.
want to talk about. I wouldn't say, what, that's what we should do. We should talk about Survivor because I need to go on that damn show and talk about how they're all freaking morons and how I'd
Okay.
win that damn show because god dang it.
We could talk Survivor 3. I don't watch a lot of Survivor. I've never gotten into that reality show, but I know the gist of it, right? I've seen a few of them. They do the weird games, and then one of the teams loses. They finish last, so they get eliminated. They have to vote somebody out. No. So I got the general gist of it. So we could talk
Yep.
theory, but I
All
don't know
right,
any of the
guys.
people.
Everybody take care. I'm gonna tune out now and I'm gonna shut up. So thank you everybody, and I'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. See you guys.